What's up? What's up? What's up? Conversation with King. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's here and enjoying themselves tonight. Tonight we're gonna have an amazing. I'm talking about an amazing show. Please get in the room. Also forward everything, everything. I mean everything to your friends, your families. Let them know that we are having the Conversation with King show. Shout out to Hanifa for our first live stream. It's still going on, and it's a dope stream. So those over there, please go and support. If not, come here, support, and then we go to Chef later on tonight. With that being said, please understand that's the mothership, but this is the cradle with a K. We giving birth to a lot of amazing personalities and talents. For everybody that came through this thing to the cradle, is doing their thing right now, and it's blossoming and it's growing, and I'm grateful and appreciative. So please go and support them. I don't throw any hate out here. I want everybody to win, from On the Block with Jen to Darrell to Chef to Mayat to Hanifa to Wana, everybody. So please understand that we want that to happen. Shout out to Chef. You ready, brother? What's good? What's good? And also, I got such an amazing person right now. I wish you could fix they can't see you right now. Fix the camera so they can see your beautiful forehead. Just a little bit, your beautiful forehead. I want to say shout out to my homegirl Unique from Atlanta. She came to join us in this conversation, and she's the funniest, probably the funniest, smartest, one of the funniest, smartest women I ever met in my life. And she has a lot to say about any topic. Today I just surprised her, told her to come up and come and show the garden, my chat, some love. So please show her love when she comes in here too. Please. Shout out. Oh, what's up, Unique? What's going on? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Press mute. Press mute. You got it? Press mute on your Can you hear it? Yeah, press mute. The audio. There you go. Say something. Say something. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can definitely hear you.
You know I'm new to this.
No, you got it. And we have a lot of, we have a lot of your type of people in here, which is those who love vegan and natural medicine and holistic stuff. So when Maya and Hanifa comes, you're gonna feel at home. They love stuff like that. So that's one of your specialties. We talk about people that know how to cure with food, that know how to cure with natural medicinal remedies. Unique is the one. She's definitely the one. Please don't get fooled by her beautiful face. She's actually a vicious Jamaican that would knock you out in a heartbeat. Right? Shout out to them. That's one of my co-hosts, Chef. Chef is one of the Brooklyn Nights OGs from Haiti. He's saying what's up. He's in Atlanta too as well. So it's like everybody's in Atlanta but me right now. Everybody's in Atlanta but me. With that being said, can you see everybody's comments or no? Can you see the comments? You should have comments on your phone if you turn it sideways. Turn your phone sideways. Can you turn your phone sideways? Horizontal. Oh, it won't switch like that? Nah, you got choose. No, okay. So basically they have comments. So shout out to On the Block with Jen. Can you see the comments on the screen right here?
Say again?
Can you see that? Like the comments I posted up on the bottom of our panel? All right, just want to make sure. All right, so before we start the show, we want to say shout out to Unique. Thank you for taking time to come out. I know you can't be here too long, so we want to jump into the subject matter as soon as possible. But before we do that, we want to give a shout out to all the sponsors. For those who don't know, I'm sponsored by Ripple. Ripple is a non-nicotine, it's no nicotine, no THC, no toxins. So I don't want Unique getting mad at me. They sponsor the show. It's a 15% discount. And if you use the rippleking.com, which is me, you get a 15% discount. So go and check that out as well. Also, you got my book, Loving Life Through the Eyes of Travel. Please go and get it on Amazon, Apple iBooks, Kindle, Book Baby. Please go and get that as well. And also, those who don't know, please join, if you haven't already, the King's Court, which is a membership only on YouTube. So I want you to get that because we have exclusive content coming out. Also, the merchandise. If those who don't know about my merchandise, go to thebonfire.com, Conversation with King hoodies, t-shirts, whatever. I've been selling out on the hoodies. So please go and cop the hoodies as soon as possible because I think we ran out of larges and mediums. We only got like XLs and stuff like that left. With that being said, thank you for all those who are supporting. Chef, you have anything? And then Unique, you have anything that a website you want them to go to support?
Yo, it's your boy Chef. Oh, you know what? Go ahead, Unique. Can't hear her.
She said go. She got mute.
Oh, okay. What up? Peace to the garden. Peace to the flowers and rocks in the garden. It's your boy Chef. We on another move. Yesterday we had a celebration, a really nice celebration on the Chef Chupino page. We crossed over 300 subs yesterday. Right now, if I look right now, we're close to about 320. So support, start sharing the videos. If you notice, there's going to be different clips. If you like some of the stuff where you see with me cooking and all of that, share those clips. So at least those folks who are not going to stick around like you for a 5-hour stream, at least you give them a little bite-sized portion so that they could take it in and watch the main show what they will.
Right.
So join on the merch, on the True Pill merch. We're sold out on the pink sweatshirts and t-shirts. And right now, some of the sizes are sold out. So go through to the True Pill Community Garden page. Click on that link you see right there. Check out what we have left.
All right. So do me a favor, Unique. You have a website with all your stuff, and people do support on here. I'm telling you, they'll go and cop some of the stuff on your website. Do you have anything you want to let us know so we could post it up?
Well, it's ready. I'm still working on. I just got my.
Talking to the mic. Talking to the mic.
Hear me now?
Yeah. So if you can they reach you anywhere where they need to get you anything for like any medicinal stuff or whatever?
Oh yeah. My Instagram is redvelvet220.
Moderators, can you write this down, please, so we could post it up? Say it again so they can hear you.
redvelvet220. Y'all don't mind the pictures; those are just for fun.
Okay. All
That's
right.
a good reach.
So Red Velvet, say again, Red Velvet 220.
Red Velvet 220.
220. All right. So that's our IG. So please, for all those moderators, please, and everybody in the chat, especially I know Mayat is into that. She's into the whole healthy food and eating Mayat. So y'all would definitely get along. I can't because you're going in and out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I do not like that. Can you hear me now?
I could definitely hear you now.
Let me see if it's my phone. I'm gonna just have to hold it because I think it's the stand.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely a foodie. Have to check out Chef's page for that. And any questions as far as like my website is not completely ready yet. I haven't been focused on it yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know how that is.
Okay, is this it right here? We have it right here. Is that it? Perfect.
Yes, it is.
All right, so please go and follow her, hit her up. And hopefully we do bring you back here. And Hanifa, great show, Hanifa. It's all right, Jabino, we still love you. But is there anybody or anything you can tell them in regards to something we need to know if they get sick during COVID, certain abstract or certain routes that they might take? Tell us enough so we don't have the feds coming after us, please.
Yeah, for everyone.
So the feds don't come after us. Don't tell us too much, please. Right.
I'm sure everyone has elderberry, but I'm very big on ginger, cayenne, lemon, honey, whatever to your liking, to your taste. Mix it up in a tea and drink it daily. Also, astragalus. I don't know if anybody's on that. The root or the powder. Drinking that daily is keeps the virus at bay. I'm in love with that herb.
So astragalus, where can we get that from, if you don't mind telling us?
You can get it at your local, I guess, holistic store, carry online at Mountain Herbs.
Are you familiar with burdock root? Loverboy said burdock root is good. Is that good?
Burdock root is good too.
Okay, what is that technically for?
Same thing. It's like an antiviral.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you.
Now, beware these They do not taste good.
Say that again.
I said, just beware, they do not taste good.
Okay.
So that's why I say, add your honey, add your, your lemon to your liking.
Okay, perfect. How do you feel about sea moss? Because a lot of times people have this sea moss. It's like a new wave of sea moss. Why is that the wave now?
Honestly, you want me to be honest, I've never taken it at all.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. I just never came across it. I was never, I never thought of really testing it out.
Okay. And then last
I
herb.
hear great things about it. I hear great things about people losing weight.
Right. And last herb, bitter herb. How do you feel about bitter herb?
Bitter
herb, bitter, bitter herb. You don't like that one?
Hence the name. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't taste good.
Okay.
But don't take too much of it because it can do liver damage. Taking
wow. I didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you so much. So with that being said, we want to start the show today, and we're going to start with the question at hand. The first hot question is: was there a time in your life that you would like to relive, and you wish that your parents taught you something or showed you something that would have made your life a little bit different today? Is there a time in your life that you felt that your parents should have showed you or taught you something that would have impacted your life today?
Who goes first?
I'm always going first. Yeah, you ladies first. You want me to go first?
I want you to go first. Yes.
I will always go first for you. Okay, check this out. I wish that and I learned it. This is why I'm so cold now when it comes to women. I never seen my parents actually show affection to each other in the household. And I don't know if it was a cultural thing because they're from Ghana, West Africa. So I never seen my mother or father like kiss each other, hold each other hands, hug each other. So I had to learn that as I got older. So it was awkward for me. And to this day, it's a little bit still awkward. So that's why either I don't do it or I do it to the extreme, right? There's no common ground. So I wish, and hopefully I could teach that to my son, right? Or my daughter, how to show affection on a consistent basis. Every day in the household, right? Like the simple things is holding someone or touching someone. I had to learn that in my adulthood from women. Like you don't hug me. I learned when a woman's arguing with you, all you gotta do is walk up to her and hug her. I learned that in my early 30s. I didn't know that at all. So I wish I was taught physical affection at a very, 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 very young age. So your turn, Unique.
Mine. You made a great point as far as
you can talk about that point too if you want to.
Yeah, affection. My parents, they're from Jamaica, so they were always argumentative, and I wish I learned how to resolve things better in a more healthy way. And they would bring their children into a lot of their arguments, and for us to be the mediators. Like, oh, go tell your father this and go tell your father that, instead of them sitting down, getting over whatever it is they were arguing about and just moving on. So, I thought I think that, I wouldn't say traumatized, but it was kind of something that I take along with me now.
Right. So you wanted them to not argue, or how would you have wanted them to resolve it?
Okay, so for instance, if you in an argument, naturally, you both go your way, but as far as dragging it along, like don't let it go on for days. Like sit down, talk about what it is bothering you, how do you resolve it, and then go to bed happy. But hostility in the air and letting it linger, and it's not healthy for kids to see you guys not solving it.
Right.
Showing proper communication to resolve.
Right. Do you see that translating to your relationships now? Because I see how mine does. Mine, like, it takes me a while to get used to feeling comfortable to showing physical affection, right?
Yes.
Does that translate to your relationship?
Yes. I mean, I'm single now, but yeah, I kind of avoid the whole dating thing because of that. I think I got to work on that with myself.
Right. Well, I'm not single now.
Congratulations.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just trying I'm trying to get you mad. Chef, what's up?
Kids don't listen. You expected a long-winded one. Because remember, the initial question was about, bring on the initial question, because we kind of went a little curve in terms of showing the kids. You remember the initial question you asked?
Yeah. The initial question was, what is something that in your childhood you wish your parents taught or showed you?
That I wish they taught.
Short or wish or short they you say I'm giving you the question. Showed you that would have made a different impact in your life. What's up, Natalie? What's up, everybody? I want to give a shout out soon. I just want to make sure we get as much as unique as possible because as you can see, she's about to go out. She's looking amazing, so she's about to go out. So we just want to make sure we catch her, you know?
So I wouldn't have listened. You know how much stuff my mom's told me? You know, there's the OGs that tell you stuff, but we don't listen to all of the OGs. We'll be lucky if we listen to 64% of what they tell us and use it. We'll be lucky if we take 45% and use it. So is there something that I wish they told me?
Mm-hmm.
Nah. My mom was, you know, she was my mom. So she thought about stuff to some degree. I believe there's times she overthought things, you know, but it made me the way that I am. So I'm so far deep into my life right now, and I'm so used to certain things. And I found each time as I progress and I grow, I find different evolutionary sources of energy within me. So yeah, I'm older than I was 10 years ago, but I feel more powerful. I feel wiser. So I'm glad that I'm really appreciative for some of the lessons that I was able to pick up outside of my mom.
Right.
I believe that it really helped me a lot, and it's actually making me stronger. That 10 years from now, I'm going to be even more wise, more powerful in terms of my level of understanding my own personal energies. So the stuff I didn't get from her, I had a great family. I had great people around me. My creator put a great environment around me. So she did the best that she could given the circumstances, you know, and I think she did a damn good job. So I'm kind of like the way Gina 789 was when I was like, yo, I don't think that she missed anything. She was a woman. I was a child of divorce. But I don't move, you know, people always assume, oh, 2-parent household. Nah, it was just that kind of energy. So I really don't think that there's something that I wish she could have said, you know, and if there is, I just haven't reached that point of sonic elevation to figure out what it is. Like, damn, if she would have gave me burdock root more or some shit, you know, but I haven't reached that point for me to figure out how dumb I am yet. But I keep growing, so we see what it is.
Right. But let me ask you a question. When it comes to just the way you express yourself in relationships, how much do you learn from your parents? How much a lot? Yeah, I feel the same. I swear, like I act like my father when it comes to love, because I'm so like, if I do this, then you do this. It's all about reciprocity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just learning how to be emotionally available. I don't know how to do that. All I know is to be a provider and a protector. Everything else is like, I'm like a baby when it comes to that. So when it comes to your parents, like, how do you love based on what they taught you? Yep. Because he's always going to go last.
Their love is it's very tough. It's tough love between them. Like you rarely saw any affection between them. Rarely. I kind of see that in myself sometimes. I do get told that sometimes I'm too tough or emotionally unavailable, or I don't want to be bothered, or I get irritated very easily. I just wish they showed a lot more affection between each other.
And
I think because they've been married, they've been married for going on over 30 years. So they were together. My mom lost her virginity to my dad when she was 20 years old. So they moved to America,
right.
and they're still together to this day. What I wish they would have taught me was to probably date more instead of jumping into.
Somebody's making noise. Who is that? Oh, go ahead.
To date more when I was younger instead of jumping into a relationship for such a long, because I was with someone for 10 years.
10 years?
Just 10 years.
But you're only 22, so you met him at 12?
I'm not 22 years old.
You look 22. So 10 years. That's so 10 years, a 10-year relationship. Usually that's the number of years where everybody says, do I really love this person or not? Because after 10 years, it's that breaking point, like, what we gonna do? 10 years is like, this is like 1/8 of my life. Like, what are we doing? And actually, in your age, it's probably half of your lifetime, or literally 90% of your adulthood, or 80% of your adulthood, that you were with this man.
Yeah, you can say that. I got with him when I was 18, so as far as, I just wish he would push me to date more and weigh out my options instead of just getting with someone and, oh, I love this person, and pushing me to stick through all the bullshit. Excuse my language. Should have left him sooner, but everything happens for a reason. I believe in divine timing, and kind of glad I stuck with him during that time, because who knows who I would have ran into during that time. Like, I learned a lot being with him, and the dating scene out here today is not well.
It's not what?
It's not well.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I can't find anybody. I'm scared I'm gonna go without having children. And I think which is a good segue to the main topic, is because I didn't want to just have kids with anybody. I wanted to get married and have kids because I'm the firstborn African, or the firstborn Ghanaian man in my family. So I just can't just have kids with anybody. And now I'm kind of regretting it, because I got to be selfish, do everything I wanted to do. But now I can't even find someone to procreate with that's gonna pass on the values, or make the values I have in my family better. So it's like it's a crazy thing in regards to the dating world, because all the girls that I like are gorgeous, but they're crazy. And if they're not, if they're brilliant, they got interior motives. So I don't know who to trust, who to be with. I can only imagine what you go through. But Chef is taken, so Chef is like a family man. So how do you feel about the dating world for us right now, for me and Unique?
Yeah, what took you out the game?
Right, what took you out the game? Good question. Go ahead.
What made it worth it?
Bumping into somebody that was not even part of the game. Literally bumping into somebody that was not even part of the game. Happened to be somebody that was, in my current situation, happened to be somebody that was around me the whole time. Like, the whole time. The person who's around me, I met them years ago, over a decade ago. There was not supposed to be anything going on, because that person, watch this, was my boss. So, it wasn't even that kind of thing. Fast forward, I get promoted again. She's no longer my boss, but now she's still in the circle. So she ended up becoming a really good friend. So throughout the time she knew me, I was living my best life. Fly New York dude, fresh down in Atlanta. You in Atlanta, so you already know. It was like, damn, you know. So she happened to be around to see my Playboy escapades. So imagine somebody knowing and seeing people that you had been with, but by the same token, the ability to understand. So now, you know, when something happens and it's like, wow, you've been here all along, and you realize that your ace was already there while you looking for your ace, but they were in your pocket, you know. So for me, taking me out of the market, I got snatched out. I got like, whoop. I didn't expect it because I didn't expect the person that was somebody I loved as my homie, as my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, it was like, thank you. You know, it was almost like, yeah, son. You know, from one minute to, yeah, son, my homie, and then next minute, you know, my heart is like, nah, I need you here. So it was, you know, it was crazy. It was crazy, but it wasn't something that I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take myself out the game now. Nah, this person, I wanted to intertwine myself more with this person once I started to feel a certain way for them, you know. So that's how I came about the game.
So let me ask you a question, Unique. Do you think it's hard because I think Unique said it's called a paradigm of choices. So he made an analogy of me having,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
he said me having 50 cards but looking for the one card out of the 50 is going to be complicated. So for you, because you are an attractive, intelligent female who is nurturing, you have so many options. Is that the reason why it's hard for you out here? Because you have so many options. If you had like limited options, it'd be easy for you to pick.
No, I don't think it's the quality of the options, and I don't think it has to do with how many.
But you seem like you attract quality men.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't. I do, but I feel like my looks sometimes I'm put in a box, and automatically, guys. I don't know why I attract a lot of guys with big egos.
Big egos. Describe that, because I don't know.
Either big egos, or they're abusive, or they have like a lot of growing up to do, like mommy issues. I don't know. That's why I just sit back, you know, and just observe. But I've learned a lot about people that way too. So, you know, asking questions and everything instead of just jumping into relationships.
I heard that term a lot, and I want you and Chef to talk about this. When a woman says a man has mommy issues, what does that mean? Because I love my mommy, but they always say I have mommy issues. So what does mommy issues mean?
Mommy issues means that a guy is looking for in a woman that he gets from his mother. He wants her to basically pick up everything that his mother is doing for him. As far as maybe it might be financial wise, it might be emotionally, whether it's her cooking and cleaning for him consistently, basically handicapping him to the point where he needs a mother figure type.
Wow. You know, it's funny because we had a show.
Don't get me wrong. There's men out here who know how to cook. There's men out here who know how to clean and do all these things that are necessary life skills, you know. But there's a lot of them that are not.
You know what's funny, because we had a show about being a good parent can mess up your child. So for example, your father was such a good man, Unique. Maybe it's hard for you to find another guy because he's the standard. So can I say you have daddy issues?
No, because I wouldn't say he was perfect. He was perfect in my eyes, yes, but I seen the flaws, and I think my quality of a guy, or a guy that I'm seeking, is someone who, is kind of like him as far as like skills. Like, you know, the men nowadays aren't like the guys back in the day. They're not hands-on. They don't work with their hands, or they don't, you know, do necessary things for themselves, basic things. So,
okay.
My dad's a mechanic. He's a mechanic, electrical engineer.
Right.
He works on cars all day long. He builds things, architecture. So I'm used to seeing that, a guy getting dirty.
Right. So what about someone like,
you know, he's very wise.
what about someone like me that don't get dirty? I'd rather pay for the mechanic. You understand? So you be like, see what I mean? Your boss set the bar so high, it's like, oh, you can't change the oil. You next.
Not necessarily. I look for other things as well, like as far as a mind. Have to be smart.
Fix cars too, by the way.
Have to have some common sense, because you know I'm big on common sense. You have to have some type of common sense.
Right.
What were you saying? I didn't hear you.
I said you fix cars too, like you into that. You do that yourself. You farm, you garden, you handle those cars as well, right or wrong. So it's like if a man doesn't do that, it's like, yeah, if a man doesn't do that, you're not gonna really check him, really, truly.
I wouldn't say that's a big what's the word? That wouldn't be a big factor if I don't date with him or not. It's a plus. It's a plus. If a guy does that, I would like to share that with him. If to be in, because I'm into sports. I don't know if King told y'all I'm big into sports. I'm into sports betting.
She loves hockey.
I love hockey. I like to work in dirt. I love gardening. I'm hands-on with kids and the elderly, so it helps.
So, Chef, and Truth is never a favorite. Truth is never a favorite. Want to ask you a question, but Chef, what do women mean when they say a man has mommy issues? Because she had a different take on it.
It's I pretty much. She gave one facet of the diamond, or a couple of facets of the diamond of the mommy issue thing. Mommy issue thing is subjective and objective to me. Why? Every single last one of us, including orphans, have mommy or daddy issues. I'll explain. If your mother, they're subjective. They're positive and negative. The amount of love that your mother shows to you, it can come off in a negative way if you expect it from someone else in the same fashion your mother gave. If you lacked a certain amount of love from your mother, that would create some sort of mommy issue within you, because you would be out in the market or in the dating marketplace coming from a place of lacking of that motherly love energy. So those are two separate issues. You get the issues of the men, some of the more abusive men who may not have had their moms around, and they're negatively impacted a woman. You've had the men whose mothers loved them like no other and treated them so well. And that has also negatively impacted a woman, because he's expecting the same thing from her. The same goes for the daddy issue. Same thing goes for with the men. I mentioned orphans, right? Same thing goes with them. The total lack of an actual mother or father will create another subset of issues for them. So I believe mommy and daddy issues, believe it or not, if you come to the show again, Unique, you're going to see there's chefism, something that may not be in the dictionary, but it's actual concept that I come up with that you can see resonance. And I call it the nurturing spectrum. Mommy and daddy issues, to me, they all fall under the nurturing spectrum. Too much of too far to the right of the spectrum, too far to the left of the spectrum is going to be something that could be potentially problematic to the person that they get with after that. So too much love or no love at all, it's still going to hit the same depending on the person you get with.
No, I agree with you. I like how you put that.
Mm-hmm. Truth is never favored. You wanted to ask Unique a question, and tell her the question and let us know why.
Okay. What's going on, big homie? Chef Safino.
What's going on, Truth?
Kinghormeku, who I like to call the freedom lover. He already
right.
Influence that freedom lover, my brother.
What's up, brother? What's going on?
Good. How you doing, Miss Unique?
Hey, how you doing? I'm
good. Great. So, the first thing, because I want to tap in on that, mommy issue thing. I think a lot of times we get things misconstrued is because the boy's first love is going to be his mother. That's the first woman that he falls in love with. And vice
Mhm.
versa, the first person the daughter falls in love with is her father. So that's automatically going to resonate into their lives as they grow up. That's who we first fall in love with. So that's who we initiate love being reciprocated back and forth from. So that's going to be our comparison with anybody. Now, the problem is when people don't understand that the way you love, the only difference between the way you love your mother or your husband or your wife is the fact that y'all cannot be intimately sexual, but the love is going to still retain the same way. Everything that you do with them, you will do with the opposite person. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that part. And then the second thing is, as beautiful as you are, and I want to know, since you said you had so many problems or had problems with the guys and everything, like you said, they had mommy issues. What is it that you want specifically that you're not getting? And I mean, from physical, mental, and spiritual.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's a big. I can go on and on about that
I'm always
right
going to
now.
come deep with it.
I see.
Pause.
I don't even know where to start with that one. Like I said, someone as far as like who can teach me things. I'm always trying to learn things, always constantly learning new something new. So if you can open my mind to a different way of looking at things, I love that. Someone hands on definitely because I'm constantly messing with things as far as like for instance, if I wanted to fix my refrigerator, why doesn't it get cold? I fix the computer modulator on it, like stuff like that. Like we have to be able to figure things out together because that's a part of life. So it communication is big with me. I hate when someone is very cold with communication. Have to learn how to resolve things, figure things out. Um, physically, I wouldn't even know that part. I guess it varies because I've only been with like a few people in my life, so I don't really have an answer for that.
Okay, so let's deal with the first part you were saying. You was saying you want someone you can learn from. So intellectual, being intellectual is a very big deal to you. Are you intellectually stimulated? Correct. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now I've heard this so many times from a lot of different females and everything like that, and they love saying this, and they love saying they want to learn, but in order to learn, you have to be really open to listening, and then
Hmm.
as well as listening, following directions, and not getting mad and saying, you're not my daddy. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh no. As far as like, you mean like being like listening and being submissive, and yeah, of course,
Yes,
that's a
because
part of
that is
learning. If you want to learn, you're not going to be combative. So.
exactly, and that's where they kind of don't understand that if you want to learn, you have to kind of be open to saying, hold up, okay, let me just sit myself down here. Let me actually be open to listening, learn, and see where they're going at,
Hmm.
and actually letting them finish so you can see the whole idea. Because sometimes a lot of people hear a sentence, and once they hear one word out their sentence, they go crazy
Right.
and they shut down.
Trigger.
Hmm.
It's a
Right.
trigger.
Trigger. Right. So,
Yeah, I see that a lot. No, I know what you mean.
right. So,
Um,
do you think that falls in any category of the reasons why that you probably don't find someone intellectually stimulating?
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've run across mentally stimulating men. Like, it's um, it's just the other qualities that come with it. They kind of just maybe just cross it out. So,
Right. So that's why I wanted to. Okay. So let's say you have somebody mentally stimulating. Okay. So let's check that box. the physical part. What do you want physically? Because I'm going somewhere with this. We're going to get down to the root of the problem.
I'm not big on that. Looks aren't.
Oh, you don't got a type?
Come on now.
Okay, yeah, preferably.
Yes.
On the dark skin side, yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Like if you're my skin tone, I don't know.
I just want to make sure you had a type or not.
Right. Okay, is height a factor?
No. Well, no, definitely. Okay, I'm 5'2", so you can't be at. I can't see eye levels with you, so.
Okay, great.
Anything taller than that, yeah.
Great. Okay, so that is very reasonable. Okay, great. Body type.
Preferably. Okay.
Hold on, I think he's setting up your Match.com profile right now.
Right, it's a Match.com profile, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's this going, Truth?
Okay,
we're gonna see where it's going because I'm trying
physique is not a thing for me. Like if you have great hygiene, you have common sense, you have a great mind, you're a thinker, and you do things with your hands, and you're just not a big player, then hey, I'm down. But
what you mean by big player?
Looks, as long as they're not over 240 pounds, like. I don't even think I've seen someone with 240 pounds, but
I'm 220.
Okay, so they can be since you 5'2", they can be 5'3", 200 pounds.
Oh, this is where it was going.
Yeah, true. Where's it going?
You're right. But that's why I said
she know what I'm doing. She know what I'm doing. Go ahead.
No, what he's doing is he wants me to be specific. Like a woman needs to know exactly what she wants. Because a lot of women they say what they want, and sometimes it's very vague when it comes to the other question.
Exactly.
Like, okay, you say you want this, but what about this? And then, so I see what he's saying.
Exactly. So that's right. So we already at the end right there. That's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all say, "Oh, I know what I want," but even if you get that all in one package, it's still going to be something there missing. And that's the problem that nobody's going to be perfectly fitting your idealism in your head. Like most females, they have they're what I call a builder camp. They got their guy all tapped down and everything, what he wants to have, his money, the way he looks and everything like that. So if a guy doesn't have that, you'll start checking off the check marks. And most of the time, if he ain't got like a 9 or a 10 out of 10, y'all just say, hey, he wasn't a good guy, but that guy could have treated you like gold. Y'all would have had children, and y'all would have been good.
So now we're going to get spicy in regards to this topic because I see Truth is trying to ask a question for a matchup. But what we're going to do is, Truth, I want you to know you proved my point. You like exotic looking women. You proved my point. Thank you. Thank you.
I ain't never hear Truth voice sound like that.
Yeah, Truth is never gentle. He's never gentle. So thank you, Truth. I appreciate you.
Kindly find flower.
Right.
Truth.
But listen, so
Truth.
real quick question. Real quick to keep it spicy. I do have a mommy issue. Because the reverence and love I have for my mother, I never ever truly dated an African woman. Because I don't associate sexual pleasure with anybody that resembles my mother. And it's crazy because I want to marry someone like my mother, but if you resemble my mother, I can't get aroused because the things I do sexually, I don't want anything close to looking like my mother. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't want to picture that. You feel what I'm saying? If that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So I don't, because a lot of women say I want someone just like my father. I want someone just like my mother. I'm like, I don't want anything like them at all because what I do in my sexual life, I don't want that associated with somebody that I think is regal. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you don't date dark-skinned women." Oh, I said no. First of all, dark-skinned women don't like me, really. But the ones that I do find very, very attractive, it's a different type of love and affection. Like I could impregnate them, but I won't touch them. Like I won't because that's my mother. I'm looking at my mother. Like my mother's a regal, dark-skinned, beautiful woman. So I can't associate my perverse sexual appetite with anyone that looks like her. Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, and
I feel so weird that it makes so much sense to me, right? But yeah.
Because I was taking that back to what I said as far as like what I thought was mommy issues. Like I have a brother who basically he's 28 years old right now. He's never lived on his own. He still lives with my mom, and she's handicapped him to the point now where if a woman doesn't have like he he'll want to be with a woman. He thought about moving out plenty of times, but if she doesn't have down to the T what he sees in my mother in her, then he's like, I don't want to do it. He will break off that relationship just for that.
yeah, that's something different right there.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So
he does go totally opposite. He doesn't. So he's opposite of. He doesn't care about looks. He doesn't even care if they're attractive. But if they don't have the same qualities that he sees, that he's getting from my mom or treatment wise, and he doesn't want to go anywhere.
is he the youngest?
He's under me, but he's not the youngest.
Is he the youngest boy?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course. The youngest boy always gets spoiled. The youngest boy always gets spoiled the most.
Yeah, all my older brothers, they got relationships. They moved out. They're damn near married with kids, and I have 3 older brothers, and they're doing well in life. He's the only one.
Right.
But he's the only one of my mother. So my dad has 3 different women, but he stayed with my mom. So
right.
he has 10 kids. I'm dead in the middle, and
right. Believe it or not,
my mom.
Believe it or not, Unique is unique. Why is she unique? Because Unique is actually a tomboy. She just came into her femininity like literally a few years ago. Like literally, like 5 years, 6 years ago. So she's a tomboy. She's like one of the dudes. Everybody's like, oh wow, King and no, Unique is like a homie. Like you won't even realize her curves or her face and her everything because by the time you finish talking to you, like, yo, where's your goatee? Where's your beard? Where's your mustache? You
can still be feminine.
Yeah, because you like one of us. So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, this is how she looks naturally. But when you talk to her, it's like talking to one of the fellas. Like, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you told them how we met?
Oh, you would tell them.
We met because through a sports betting group.
Right. We met through sports betting. Like, so she's like, and she was killing on the guy. Yeah, she's like, so we sports betting that doesn't include money. It's like more so sports investing. We don't do sports betting. Yeah, it was sports investing.
So you know the game?
No, listen, if you ever want to win money, you call her and ask her for the hockey picks. She knows everything about hockey. Like it's
I'm a nerd on the low. I'm a tomboy nerd on the low. I just stay home. I stay out the way. I go out every now and then.
Yeah, that's the one right there, bro.
Yeah. Right. And, Atlanta's crazy. I cannot be out here.
Right.
I'm talking to King every now and then. He's like, yeah, I got my friends down there. Go show them, take them out. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah,
she doesn't really do stuff like that. She's to herself and stuff like that. That's why I said Atlanta's not the place for her because Atlanta is full of a whole bunch of women, right? And a whole bunch.
A lot of players. It's not a place where you want to come.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
You're
breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hello.
Yeah, it's not a place where you want to come raise a family. But my family's here, so that's why I choose to stay here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me give my brother. It's my brother Willie Dean. Oh man, you know how? Yo, Willie Dean. Me and Terry about.
I live in Baltimore.
Yeah. Chef is from Brooklyn, living in Atlanta.
Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland.
And then Willie Dean, that's my boy from college. He went to play. Basketball and went to Russia to play basketball. He's been married for 13 years, three beautiful children that play the piano, they sing, they write, they do everything. And the thing about him, he's wearing a fly bucket hat, and me and Terry about to come out with a bucket hat line. So I'm glad you did that. Okay with you.
That's dope. I love it.
Yeah, so we're gonna send you some bucket hats too. Me and Terry are doing that. So I need a special hat for my head. You know my head is but I'm glad y'all came on the screen together, because I want to let y'all know at the end of the day, Will has a lot of experience in regards to children. But he has his own children. He wrote a book called Love by Willie Dean. It's a book for children, it's a children book, and it's an amazing book. But the question today, the main topic today is children are investments that do not have a guarantee. And the reason I had this question, because I admire Willie Dean, the way he raises his children, and I love my father and mother who did everything for me. And I have Unique here because she had a two-parent household. They've been together for over 30 years, right? And I feel like my parents put so much into me. They didn't go on any trips. They didn't do anything for themselves, but they put everything to to their children. And this is why I live the way I live my life, because I'm doing everything. I traveled the world two times already. I did everything. Slept with all types of women. I did whatever you could imagine, right?
Yeah.
So because I knew when I become a parent, that stops. Because I see some of my friends right now, they're actually mad at their own children. They're mad at their own children due to the fact that they have to make sacrifices for their children, and it takes away from their own personal growth. So I wanted to talk to like Chef, you, and everybody on the panel right now. Are children an investment? And what happens when things don't pan out? Do you feel bad because you sacrifice your own happiness at times? Like maybe you could have took this trip, but you were saving for college. Maybe now she doesn't want to go to college, or he doesn't want to go to college. Maybe you relocated from the city that you love to give them a place of sanctuary, and now they might be on drugs because they live in the suburbs. Like, what are the things that, you know, as parents or potential parents, that we're scared of when we invest in our children with all our money and resources? Like, what are the things that we're scared of? Hey, Wanda, what's up, mother? Definitely to come up. So what do you think?
If I would have to choose one thing, a lot of parents may not be happy because they feel like they're not getting that return on their investment.
Right.
But I don't feel like that, because, I never try to choose for my children. I just put the information in front of them and have them understand what the best choice would be. So even when we have our conversations, like I never tell you anything to do. What I do is I give people different ways of looking at the situation so that they can make the best decision for them. Right. Like I invest in my children because I want to give them the best chance to be successful in what they would like to pursue. Like my life was different. I had a different path. I was fortunate enough to through basketball and through my academics create a professional lane that helped me, see and accomplish the things that I've been able to accomplish. But it wouldn't be fair for me to expect that from my children, and I never pushed like basketball on my children. I know some parents, just because they were professional athletes, like they push that on their kids, and I want my children to choose their own passions, and then me as a father, the best thing I could do is support whatever dreams and aspirations that they have, whatever goals that they have, and support that whichever way that I can, until they see that this is something that they would like to do, or maybe they choose a different route. So
Is that easy for you to say because you lived your dream? You played in the NBA. You played overseas. You went to like great schools, and you majored in math. Like you lived your life. So maybe you can say that because you lived your life. What
Right,
about
but
people that don't live your life? Like what do
everything that I was able to accomplish, everybody doesn't know like the setbacks and everything that I had to overcome to achieve those things. Like it wasn't sweet.
That's right.
There was a lot of things that I had to overcome. Like I'll give you a personal example, and because when I was at Boston College, like I want to use the proper term, but in any way, to say it politely, I was forced out of Boston College. And if it was in this day and age, I would have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
Wow.
Based on the way things happen. But in any case, when I had left Boston College, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a scholarship. I didn't have anything. So when I went to Purdue, I walked on the team. The coach didn't know me. The coach didn't recruit me. I walked on to one of the premier basketball schools and one of the most prestigious engineering schools. And then I worked from the bottom. I didn't have anything. They didn't know me from any of the other regular students. I walked on. I earned a scholarship. I ended up leading the Big Ten.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that you walked on to Purdue.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things that I went through that people don't know about, or they see.
What made you go to Purdue though? From New York State to BC. What made you go to Purdue and take that chance with Purdue?
Well, because my father's job was transferred out to Indiana from New York. So then when I left Boston College, I went closer to my family. And at the time, you had two powerhouses. You had IU where Bobby Knight was, and then you had Purdue where Coach Katie was. Now, Bobby Knight, this was the same year that he was in legal situation from choking one of his players. So they didn't have a coach at the time. So I just crossed that school off the list and ended up going, choosing Purdue to attend school, and it just so happened that other people had encouraged me to walk onto the team, and so it went from nobody knowing who I was to being one of the best players in college basketball. So, but
wow. Truth, you say you play basketball, right, Truth?
Sir.
Yeah. So at what level?
High school. I ain't go to college or.
What high school did you play for?
Owens Mills.
Who?
Owens Mills.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I have some like my cousin went to Dunbar, and I have some good friends that went to Dunbar, but that's in DC though.
Hold up. You said Paul Lawrence Dunbar?
Dunbar?
Yeah.
In DC, yeah.
Well, Dunbar is off of what is that? Because I went there my ninth grade year. Who's your cousin?
Okay.
Shout out to Shannon.
Well, he's older than you because he's older than me. Reggie Lewis. He was in the league for a long time with the Celtics.
Cousin?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Lewis, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we affiliated, Truth. That's why when you was talking that Michael Jordan stuff, I said, man, I don't know, man. I'm the worst ball player in my crew, man. But I'm all right.
Lewis came a couple of times my first grade year to talk to Coach Pompey and us when I went to Dunbar ninth grade and stuff.
Yeah.
But thank you. Okay. So I don't know how much time we have left with Unique, but everybody's saying she's pretty. I know she hates that. You hate that by now. You want everybody to say you're intelligent, and she's super funny. She's super funny.
What did I miss though? What did I miss?
She's okay.
What you missed was we talked about some of the things that you wish your parents taught you when you were younger or showed you, and it would have probably had a different impact. And I talked about the fact that my parents didn't show me physical affection, right?
Okay.
And I think Unique talked about the fact that communication, the importance of communication, not leaving an argument without resolving it, right? And then Chef, he said that he's not at the sonic level to say that his parents didn't teach him what he needs to know because he's at where he needs to be, right? So, is there anything that you wish your parent taught you that would have probably made a bigger impact in your life right now?
Not necessarily not necessarily something that they would have taught me, but because I think they chose when to teach me the things that they did for whatever reason. Could some of the information that I learned from my father, if I learned it earlier, maybe could it have benefited me more? I have to say yes, but also I can't really say that because maybe the time that he gave me that information, it might not have stuck with me, So I'm just thankful that I was fortunate enough to have both of my parents because believe it or not, a lot of kids that I grew up with, they felt some kind of way about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they felt some kind of way towards me just because I had both of my parents, and that has nothing to do with me. Like I didn't. I had nothing to do with some of my friends' broken households, but some of my friends they shared with me like, yo, growing up, man, I used to feel some kind of way because you had your mom and your dad, and but the way my parents were, like my parents were their parents too, so but it's difficult because everybody wants the love from who they want the love from, and not necessarily from the person that's giving them the love.
Well, was both of your parents
That's a
married?
good point. That's a good point.
Both my parents.
As parents, because me and Unique are the only single people without parents right now. She happens to be 25 and I'm 41, right? So with that being said, we don't. How do you feel about investing in your children? Like, how do you really feel like that? Do you want to return on your investment, or you just doing it out of love? Because I know my pops looked at me. I swear on everything. Last year, he says, "Where's my private jet?" And he closed the door. He always closed the door. Where's my private jet? That's what he looked at me like, "Where's my private jet?" So I was like, "Damn," you feel me? So do y'all do it from the heart, or y'all like, yo, this shit better turn out? Like, I'm raising my daughter so she could marry a dignitary.
From the heart,
What do you
man.
mean by the
Hold on a second. Let me drop this on because I gotta jump off the tape. I gotta make this important call. I'm actually still on some corporate right now. So let me just tell you this. Do I believe in investing in your children? I don't believe in that concept. And that's why people feel as though they're taking an L. They feel as though they're taking a loss when what they wanted, the outcome that they were looking forward to, doesn't take place. Right? Why is that? Because you're not investing in your kids. You're investing in your damn hope. You're investing in your own personal hopes and goals. You get what I'm saying? So it's like me using this computer now and expecting something I do on this computer to make that computer over there work or turn on or solve a problem. When we do all of this investment, we're actually truly investing in the hopes that we have for the kid. And by the time we already have spent something with a comma in it, there's still no guarantee that they're going to want to do it. You know how much money people spend on dance lessons, on gymnastics, on piano lessons, on saxophone, clarinet, all of these different things that projections that we have. Think about how many families have spent 5 figures, 6 figures on college education for a kid, and then they want to go into the art of pottery after all of that money is spent. We can't really put that on them. What we have to do is stop being lazy and thinking this is going to happen. If this happens, I make this money. Jenny's going to do this. She's going to be great. Nah, it's actually more tactical response required. If you have hopes and goals for them, then at some point you have to do like Jelly Bean, Kobe Bryant's dad did, and put the damn basketball in their hand and be there throughout the process to create what it is you're trying to bring about. But in the end, you are not investing in the kids. You're actually truly investing in your hope for what their future will be. So there is no guarantee.
Let me just say something real quick.
He's so right though.
My fault, True.
What you say, Unique? You said something.
No, I said Chef is dropping diamonds because he's so right, because it's no different from stocks or sports betting. Like you're making an investment hoping that you win and make a profit, but it's not no guarantee. So
let me say something. Truth, I ain't mean to jump in front of you, brother, but Chef said something. I wanted to say something real quick before I lose the moment. And I just wanted to clarify what I mean by I invest in my children, yes, but I don't invest in it from a return aspect, because I'm not looking to make any money off my children. I look at it as an investment. For example, in their education, I have my daughters in math classes. I have them in piano lessons, not for them to have aspirations of being a world or a global composer. It's more so for the brain development. I'm giving the best chance for my children to succeed and be successful in whatever they decide to choose. Mm-hmm. My children create their own goals. Because if I was going to create goals for them, maybe I would have forced basketball on them. But I sit down with my kids. What do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do we want to be? And then I see how daddy, with his resources and with his finances and with his network and his relationships, how can I put my children in the best situation for them to succeed at what they want to do in life? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I say invest, I don't mean like, okay, I'm putting money on my kids.
I mean you. I was answering to
no. I'm not attacking you, Chef. I'm just clarifying what I mean by investing. Yes, I invest in my children's education because what I mean by that is, so my children, I have them in math tutoring classes, right? So I have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm paying that so that they can receive the benefit from the brain development. There's nothing like math for a kid's brain development. There's nothing like music lessons for a kid's development. And these are facts. Everybody, you can look it up. The benefits of children learning an instrument, how their brain differs from somebody who never learned, the critical thinking. So all of these things are going to help them later in life, that right now they're too young to understand that they should be in these things.
Right. So I basically agree with both Chef and Willie. When we, for us as fathers, we only want what's best for our children. We want them to far surpass where we left off and where we probably thought we were headed. So even down from when, I found out my children's mother were pregnant, I started incorporating things by, reading to them, letting them listen to classical music, things like that, all in hopes of trying to, like Willie said, enhance their mind, expand it, help their, cognitive abilities and everything like that. And, sure enough, when, my daughter started walking at 6 months, very active, like they was very active, very aware, their motor skills, being able to eat at 9 months early and everything. Everybody was so surprised at what they was doing and everything like that. Of course, I say I helped out a little bit as far as with reading to them and let them listen to classical music. But all praises go to God for all that, for my children being blessed and being active like that. But what I told, we spoke about this a couple shows ago, that I said I learned my children for who they are, for their own individualism. I get to know them because they're their own people. Yes, they have my DNA. They have, they look like me, everything like that, but they're their own people. They like different things. King, you asked me, was I upset that my son didn't play basketball? Remember you asked me about that? And I said, yeah, I mean, he's a little bit more into electronics and computers and things like that.
Right.
I
said that truth because I'll be hella tight if my son didn't know how to dance.
Yeah,
my son didn't know how to dance, they have no rhythm, I'll be tight.
Right.
He gotta know how to find and all types of stuff on his head. I need my son to half split, jump in the air. I need him to know how to do it. That's just me. I'll be tight.
No.
I used to do that. So if he didn't do that, I'm like, that's not my kid. Get this guy away from me.
No, I feel you. Like, I was upset, but I didn't let him see it because I didn't want the weight of that falling upon him and everything like that. Like I told you, a lot of that weight had fell on my brother trying to live up to our father's stature of how well he progressed as a basketball player. And it turned out negatively, and it actually fractured their relationship. So I didn't want that for for me and my son. I want us to always be in that mode where we can constantly communicate with each other so I can know how best to help them. So I never put pressure on them for to be something that they aren't. I look forward to learning their strengths, and then I adjust accordingly. And like Willie said, hey, you want to do little math projects, make sure to the following year increase them in GT classes and things like that. You get to know them to see how they will advance. You don't put the pressure. And the only investment I had is, I wouldn't say it's an investment. Like I always say, it's the legacy. I want to know that I did the best in helping my daughter and my son become the best man and woman they can be. So when I leave here, they can make a mark on this world of actually loving people the proper way. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So in regards to this, let me take it down to this rabbit hole right now real quick, and so I can really get some real answers from y'all. To the fathers on the stage who have daughters, you pay for your daughter to go to school, you do everything. She comes home with a guy that's a bum, a bozo, and she's not leaving him. How are you going to feel putting all those years of work and effort into her? How would you take it? And don't say that would never happen to my daughter. How would you take it?
I would first pick up the piece of paper from in my safe that has the list of coordinates for the pre-dug holes that I have in the middle of the desert.
Right.
Nah.
Father's worst nightmare.
It's the worst nightmare. It's the worst nightmare, but here's going to be the thing. You rather she learned about it. You rather she learns the asshole.
No, that's her man. That's the final one. That ain't the first one.
Wait, what you mean the final? Okay,
that's the one that I'm not leaving. We pregnant. This is who I'm staying with.
Oh, pregnant. Oh.
Jeez. At this point now, man. All right, yo, that's the rabbit is hole. Okay. I'm gonna tell you this.
The rabbit is hole.
So, if like on some real shit, you forced into it. So you like, damn it, it's the words, it's forced. I'm locked in, right?
Right.
The only thing I could do because I love my daughter, and that's why you see some of them situations where you got them dudes that have a business, run a company, is like, yeah, my asshole son-in-law, I gotta give this bum a job. At this point, because my daughter is locked into some sort of natural existence with this individual that she's chosen, children are there. If I love my daughter and I love my grandchildren, my job now, I gotta help this bum ass dude out and try to skill him up and try to make him into a better person for my family because he's locked in.
Now he's like, no, I'm a blood.
But
I
now he
got a
has to be a
mixtape coming
father
out.
to him.
Huh?
Okay.
Say again.
Now he has to be a father to him to
Right,
make sure that
exactly.
Right.
daughters.
Right.
And what if he says, yo, no, I'm a blood, I'm a Crip. I got a mixtape coming out. I'm not trying to hear nothing you saying. I ain't jacking that, Pops.
Back to those in the desert.
Yeah.
That's when Pops gotta call his homeboys and we
Right. It's like, yo, because at this point,
What's the alternative ways how to reach a kid though? Come on.
it's not a kid though. Remember, you said it's not a kid.
Well, we said
It's not a kid. This is a grown
One
ass
at a
man.
time. One at a time. Say it again.
What Chef
I said
said
it's a
earlier.
community. Sometimes you gotta speak their language. So when I say the Pops gotta bring his fellas and his homeboys to come talk to him, let them know, like, look, this is what life is really about. All that rah and you got to be a man. You have a child, so naturally children are what's the word I'm going for? They're naturally going to go against their parents' wishes.
Rebellious, yeah.
So I dated rebellious. Thank you. I don't know where my head was at. So I had brung home well, but it wasn't really brung home. I was dating a guy in my neighborhood that my dad didn't like. And he didn't want to go any further, but I was so headstrong, like, yeah, I want to date him and da-da-da-da. And all it took was whenever he messed up and I was irritated about it, my dad would just point out his flaws, like, oh, people like that who consistently, I'll never forget. And that's what made me break it off with him. He was like, someone who consistently does something over and over again, thinking that the result is going to change.
Insanity.
Are basically slow, insane, retarded, or slow. And I was like, damn, you're right, because he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Like, I don't think I could live with that. So, sometimes it just takes the not hostility from the dad's part or tough love, but simple words, wise words.
Yeah.
Because if my dad would have kept going head to head with me about it and be in the argument with me, I think I would have just naturally, just to make him mad, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna stay with him anyway.
Damn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is what I'm saying because, and I'm just the rabbit hole I'm trying to take y'all into right now. Because y'all invest so much money or time into your children, and because my parents invested so much time and money to me, parents have this entitlement to your life decisions. You get what I'm saying? They have an entitlement to your life decisions. So when you make a decision that they don't agree with, they feel entitled to tell you what to do. And they disguise it with the word, I'm trying to guide you in the right way, right? So I'm asking you, do y'all feel that entitlement as three fathers on stage? And if your daughters, just like Unique says, you know what, I like this young man and I'm gonna be with him, what are you gonna say? We heard what Chef is gonna go to jail. Will, what are you gonna do?
No, so the way I raise my kids, I would hope that they would be able to see from the way that they were raised that this gentleman wouldn't be correct for them. But just let's for the rabbit hole that you took us through. Okay, she's pregnant. She's not leaving this gentleman. He's a gang member. So first of all, I'm gonna support my daughter in any way that she needs, and then based on the lifestyle that this gentleman is living, I'm going to get life insurance for him. Because you're saying that because you're saying that he's not going to be receptive to any of the information that I'm receiving him. So living a lifestyle that he decides to choose it's not likely for him to beat the odds of that lifestyle. So the best choice that I was able to come up with is just having a life insurance policy on him, because let's say he has a tragic ending to his lifestyle that he chose. At least it will be something to help his family.
Yeah, that was smart.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
So you think
Like,
parents?
yeah, go ahead, live
yeah,
your
I
life,
would.
do what you want. Let me go
Right,
call the
rock
insurance
out.
company.
Just chill out for the next 90 days and then go ham.
Right.
Yeah,
Truth is never faded. What you think?
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't give up. Like, I would continuously, like, if I had my own business, I would try to get him in there. I would also talk to him about, what he's getting into. Like where we live in, like I told you, my city is small, man. Pretty much he would probably know the people that I know. If I know he's really out there, I would probably know who he know. And especially if it's peoples or whatever of my age, I would probably go talk to his peoples about this type of situation first and foremost to let them know like what's going on, the lifestyle they living. Is they cool with it? Is his pops from the streets like my father was? And what's the idealism, like why is he even in this mess? And then try to connect with him. Is this something that you grew up in? Is this something you doing because this is the only way you can see you can earn money? Are you trying to get brownie points for living this type of lifestyle? Like you think this is cool or something? Like do you want a way out? I would constantly reevaluate things for him to show him that it's a better way to do things. And on top of that, if you love my daughter like you say you do, you will not put her in a dangerous situation, because in my city, a lot of females get connected with their boyfriends and they get shot with them guys. They get killed with them guys. So I have to let him know, like, if you put my daughter's life in danger like that, we're going to have a big problem and it ain't going to be no word said. So his best bet is to get up out of that, because either way, he's going to have it. He's going to be in a situation with the other guys and he's going to be on the run. And then he's going to be on the run from me, because even if my daughter don't get hit, the mere fact that you put her life in danger, your child's mother in danger like that, that means you don't love her like you say you do, bro. Like I made sure I kept everything that I was doing out the streets far away from my children,
Right.
far away.
But it's what if the son goes, your truth is gang, man. You was doing it. How you gonna tell me what to do? You kept you. I'm doing the same thing. I don't have it around your daughter.
If he say he kept it away from my daughter,
Yeah.
okay. Well, the first thing I would have to actually ask my daughter, do she even know what he does? If she say she don't know what he do, all right. But if she do know what he do, he's not keeping it far away. My children's moms didn't know none of the stuff I did.
Yeah, but you in Baltimore. It's hard to hide anything in Baltimore.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You got to be
so
clever.
hard. You can't hide that. They act like they didn't
they
know.
Can,
but
they, listen, they can know you out there, but they don't have to know exactly what you've done. Okay. Like they don't have to know where the skeleton's buried at. They don't have to know the reasons why you got locked up and stuff like that. They can just know that you got locked up. You feel what I'm saying? They don't need to know that you're in a battle with some dudes on the other side of the avenue and all that.
So
know what my dad has told me. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I just want to ask truth. So what if he said to you, I looked up to you all my life, OG. I'm so proud, man, that I'm actually with the daughter of the OG that I look up to. What if you were one of the legends that he looked up to?
Oh, now he's trying to butter you up.
Yeah, but no, I don't think.
But I'm saying, but I just do that, to the question. Remember, if he's one of those people that you would not want your daughter to be with, right? I'm throwing out a little red herring there,
right?
And you know that he knows your history. He knows your previous history when you was out there, right? And he looked up to it, and he calls you OG. So the stuff you were trying to escape is the stuff that got him in a hold right now. The stuff that you used to do that you grow out of, he's in the middle of it right now. And he looks up to you as OG. How would you handle it now? Because he's not just one of them. He's one of them that your history might have helped groom, right?
Right. So that's why I'm trying to tell you. Burn account, get it. Where it is, if he respects you, he ain't talking to your daughter. Like if you the OG, and I say I'm messing with, we laughing like, yo, I smashed your daughter. Like they're not.
Right. Oh no, I don't mean OG like you locked up in the same clique. I'm talking about you come. No, your name was ringing bells, truth, in them streets. OG like that, not my boss. I mean, nobody trying to smash their boss's daughter. I'm talking about where truth is respected for you were respected for your for what you did in them streets. You get what I'm saying? And this is one of the young boys who respects the OGs, and he's in them streets. You understand what I'm saying? He's somebody that's showing you ultimate deference. When you talk about the guys that hustle, and then the way life comes back full circle with one of their friends, family, this, that, and the other gets strung out, right? Our chickens coming home to roost from the things we did. So I'm just asking you, throwing that out, because I know how you love on your baby girl too. You talk about it. I'm gonna make a video just about that. Okay. What I'm saying is, if the man that wants to be with her is somebody that grew up idolizing the dark side truth, not the new God, son of God, man of God, the dark side truth, and he looks to you as a legend, how would you address that? How would you feel?
But hold on, yo, Chef, I ain't mean to interrupt. But if he had that level of respect, looking up the truth, then it'd be more likely that truth will be able to reach that gentleman.
Yeah, that's
he'd be more receptive to that information.
I wanted truth to give what would his approach be, because the other approach would have been like, you did this, you did that. But now with truth understanding that his previous misdeeds may have been some of the legend that created that little gangster. So I'm asking truth, how would he move from that point, understanding that this guy is part of the stuff that I used to do? You catch what I'm saying? How would you approach it? Would you approach it with more love, or how would you approach it?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to tell him like, yo, when I was out there, I was a fool, man. I wouldn't consider myself a man. Straight like that. I was lost. I was inwardly, I was hurting, man. I was crying inside. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had the answers I was looking for. Nobody could touch me where I needed to get my way out. I was in darkness. Like, for real. Like, a lot of people look at that stuff as like glamorous. I was hurting, man. Like, seriously.
Thank you.
So I would go to him. I was like what I told you earlier, I would try to figure out like, why is he even doing this? And I asked him straight up, yo, are you hurting? Like what are you missing? Like, that would matter. And then on top of that, I would say, yo, I got out of it for a reason. I got out of that situation for a reason, and it didn't go even further. It's
you know what that's called?
I was looking for a way out.
I'm not gonna lie.
You know what that's called, truth? What you would be doing, which is so dope, you would actually be mentoring him. You would actually be providing him with almost fatherly guidance. Remember when we talked about the other one where she said she's gonna stick with the dude, and we like, damn, we gotta end up raising this guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The dope part about it is that you're back to men actually still being men to those men that may not have had what they needed. So, I commend you on that, because you brought it full circle.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Maybe I'm living in a different world, but the kids nowadays don't care nothing about that.
No, they don't.
These little kids is out here. They're not playing with you. They're not playing with you.
Well, that's why they remember words. Well, not all, but some do remember things. Like, I was gonna speak on that. Though you mentor him, but you also have to mentor your daughter and say the right things. But one thing my dad did tell me also, that struck an idea in my mind. He's in the streets. What do you think happens when he's beefing with someone? What's the first thing they go looking for is his family and loved ones. Do you want to be that person?
Right, exactly. And then
he don't got no common sense. He keeps doing the same shit over and over again, which equals insanity. So you're right. I don't.
And in order for that to for it to stop, I know it's not going to lie with him, because he's not going to stop messing with her. So I have to, and more than likely, it depends on the relationship that you have with your daughter, whether or not she'll say, okay, I'm going to take your word and just deal with the pain of being separated from them. Like, if you have a connection with your daughter like that, she will stop messing with them. If you have a connection, go talk to your mom, see what it did to me and your mom. See what I'm saying? I'm real with my children like that. I let them know exactly what has, hurt me and their moms with their relationships and everything like that. How the times that I didn't come home and things like that.
But Truth, you're not answering the question. The question I asked earlier for everybody, the fathers, why do y'all feel entitled to give your children advice because y'all invested in them? If they
No, that's not entitlement. That's love. That's not entitled. That's purely love. I don't feel entitled. I don't own them. They are blessings. I've told y'all this before. My children are a gift. I don't deserve them. I don't deserve my children that I have. Not at all. There's nothing that I've done that tells me that I've deserved them. I'm trying to earn my place in their heart. I'm trying to live up to the hero. They look at me as a hero. I don't view myself as that, but I'm trying to live up to that. So it's not not an entitlement. It's actually a joy. It's a privilege to be their dad, man. That's how I look at it.
All right. Second question. When do you stop investing in your children?
Never. Death.
Your page is frozen, I think.
Can you see me?
Yeah, no, it's frozen, but it's a good frame. It's frozen, but it's a good frame.
Oh, hold on, let me, because I tried to.
It looked like you did on purpose. It's a good frame. Yeah. So.
Do you see me now?
Yes. No, we see you, but you're not moving.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, but when do you stop investing in your children? When they start doing bad in school, or when they start disrespecting you, or when they bring another person into the family? When do you stop investing into your children?
What do you mean, money or
money, time, and everything? Like, okay, you know what? It's not going to work out. This is not it.
The only thing that I would cut off is probably monetary things. That's the only thing I would cut off. But as far as effort and time and love, that's still death. Because I'm always going to be dad, no matter how old it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Truth on this one. I'm never gonna stop investing in my children. I'm here for them. As long as they're needed to do on their own. It's my hopes that eventually they'll be able to put themselves in a situation where they wouldn't need my financial support. But if they were ever to fall on difficult times or anything, that's what I'm here for. And I'm always going to be that source that they'll be able to tap into. And let's say, for example, they chose something that led to an addiction or something. I'm not going to turn my back on them in that situation either. I'm just going to try to do the best I can as a father to get them the support and help that they need to overcome that situation. So, I'll never turn my back on my kids.
Okay.
I think you all are great fathers.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. So let me ask you a question.
You're doing your best.
Let me ask you a question. Since you think they're great fathers, right? As a person that is going to get married and have children, but you are a great aunt. You're definitely a great aunt. As every day you're with your nephews and nieces, and you neglect a whole bunch of Africans. You just neglect them because you're with them. So with that being said, what are you going to invest in your children? Like, what is the actual benchmark, so you can give people that don't have children, everybody, how much is too much? What is the right amount? All right, so you don't seem like you're pushing them, or you don't put too much pressure on them, too much anxiety on them. Like, is it too many piano lessons? Is it too many math classes? Is it too many trips around the world? Is it too much high goal? Like, when does it becomes a pressure? Because we see a lot of kids in other countries that commit suicide, right? A lot of pressure, right? So what is too much?
Too much pressure is when you can see that when there's no more motivation in it. They're not happy doing it. That's when it's too much pressure.
Right.
You know, you have to naturally let them want to do it. You know, sometimes, you know, they need a break here and there, but you don't push it. Just when they're ready to get back in it, just remind them, like, look, this is the goal. This is what you like. This is what you wanted. This is what I want for you. And this is the outcome. It can be great. And just motivating and inspiring them. But yeah, when you can have a backlash. So
Well,
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
rewarding kids is a big thing too.
Right, say that again.
I'm sorry. No, I said rewarding them for what they do and staying on you know, on track. That's a good thing too, because a lot of parents I see, they don't reward their kids for doing these things.
Yeah, my
just
parents didn't reward me, so you're supposed to be doing that. Like I told you,
mine too.
They didn't
I
come
got you
to
making
any.
parents.
Yeah, they didn't come to any graduation to college. They said that I'm not celebrating that. You're supposed to do that, right? Truth had a question about Willie. Willie, did he want to know your book? He can get your book on Amazon, right?
Right. Yes. My children's book titled "Love" is available on Amazon. You know, appreciate all the support, and you know, if you have something that's going on, if there's any way that I can support, definitely reach out to me.
Right.
What is it called? Love is what?
No, it's just Willie Dean, my name right here on the screen, and then just type in love. Just that's it. Yep.
Right. So with that being said, Willie Dean, what is too much investment? What is too much?
Okay, so I'll give an example that you know, Miss Unique, that from what she was saying, it happened in my life. So when my daughter chose to pursue piano, you know, I had got her some lessons, and she wasn't putting forth the effort to that she needed to continue to develop and to continue to improve. So I took her out. I took her out because she wasn't practicing. So I really didn't get the feeling that it was something that she really wanted to pursue. She just wanted it to just come because she said she wanted to play piano, so she just thought it was just going to come without putting forth the effort. So I took her out of the lessons, and then so after a while, she started to miss it, and then that's when she started practicing on her own. And then once I saw the effort, I enrolled her back in the lessons, and you know, so she understood that in order for her to get where she wanted to get, you know, it took me having to take that away from her to understand and have her appreciate, you know, the opportunity that she had to achieve what she said that she wanted to achieve.
Okay.
That's true.
Chef?
Yeah, as far as that goes, I would we talk about it as objective terms, but in the end, is gonna come back to me in terms of my parent continuing to be there to do whatever I can do to put them in a positive trajectory. Investment aspect, I come to the table knowing that there's going to be, you know how we have funds and we talk about income and we use a term called disposable income. When you're having children, just like when you have a home, you don't just buy a home. You have to keep a slush fund to the side to be able to take care of things because you're not renting anymore. Responsible for everything. The heater goes out, the boiler goes out, this, that, and the other, cracking the foundation. You have to have that. Same thing with children. In order to be successful, fiscally responsible when you're raising them, you have to have a certain amount of disposable income, which means the kind of money you spend that you never expect to get back. Never expect to get back. Be it the sneakers that you bought this month that don't fit in a month and a half because they're having growth spurts. Be it the ballet classes we talked, the piano lessons. Be it, watch this, the play dates with her best little friends. Now you treating your daughter and 4 or 5 little girls to pizza, to the movies, to this, that, and the other. These are things that we call investment. Some of us don't look at it as investment. And I'm going to do one of the things I always do and tie it back to a previous show. When King gave that anecdote about he was out with this beautiful girl and a family, the Saudi millionaire's daughter.
Yeah.
Right? And he wanted to pay, and she was like, nah, you don't. What did she say to you?
She told me I took them out, that time I was ripping and running, and she told me, you don't deserve to pay for me. It's an honor to pay for me. Only my husband and my father could pay for me.
Woo! Okay.
So when she said that, it put me in check, because they already had security downstairs, and I'm thinking I had my chauffeur downstairs. That's when King was Mo Cheddar. That's what he used to call me. When I was Mo Cheddar, I was really different. I'm still different now, but I'm low key. Kind of, right? I'm kind of low key. So, but at the end of the day, she said that, and it made me realize, like, when you take a woman out, that woman is telling you, I trust you for tonight, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm giving you the honor to provide for me, to show me that you can provide for me, right?
Okay.
But
so now I want to come from that dynamic. That's the one dynamic, but the other part is, that's what she was showing you. The other part of that dynamic is her saying that you had to earn the right to be able to break that bread. So as a parent, even though we may complain and whine about this, that, and the other, the fact that I could walk in somewhere mm-hmm. and spend $1,000 on my princess, it feels good. It feels good. There's a certain level of honor in being able to bring things to a positive completion for your children. There's a lot of people that can't do it, that don't understand that feeling. So even though we call it investment, some of us, the money that we spent just on doing something as simple as making our kids smile, even if we knew the outcome, just to see that smile and have those moments, we would do that shit all over again, So I don't
have kids. I spend my money on my nieces like it's nothing.
Right.
But I have a question for the fathers. Is there a time? Do you think that there was a point where you feel like you could have waited to have kids, or you were just ready when it was time?
So I'm gonna be, because I know Willie was more intentional in his movement, right? So
crazy.
So I'm gonna give my heathen answer. Right? My son was born when I was 28 years old. I had gone a long period of time where it was like, damn, you're making money, you look nice, and you're this old, you don't have a kid. And I didn't. It was not a choice for him to be there, but I totally recognized the fact that it was a change that I needed. The story of my son, it's a little different. If y'all ever go to my page, see a video called How I Got My Name, it's a long story. It's a deep story, but I knew my son when I was 17. He literally came to me in a dream when I was 17 years old. I knew his name when I was 17 years old. I knew the first kid I was going to have was going to be a boy, and he told me his name in a dream. So, all like, and it kind of ties into my dad. The video is called How I Got My Name. It was, I dropped it the day that I found out that my grandfather had passed away. And I kind of talked about it, how the Shapino name came. But my son came to me in a dream when I was 17 years old. No lie. So I knew he was here. I knew he was going to be here.
It's herbs. It's herbs. Don't worry.
I see you. I was like, okay.
It's lychee.
No, product placement. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So for my son, I knew he was going to be here. And at one point, was I really intentional? No, I'm not trying to be graphic. At that moment, was I so in love? Did I bust that nut on purpose?
Wow, we just lost all monetization. Thank you. All
No,
the
no. We just
commercial
no,
ads.
we talking about walnuts and they high in
That's
protein.
what I want to know. I don't know. Was it intentional?
Right.
I don't think it was intentional. I believe that in that moment, just how deep it was flowing, I could have been risky. You get what I'm saying?
What's the title of it? Because he wants to watch it. What's the title?
It's called How I Got My Name. Literally, it's called How I Got My Name.
Okay. On the block where Jen says men rarely plan to have children. Their penis intent is another story.
That's
I don't know what y'all say, but 2022, I'm smashing everything.
Most men never expected their kids.
Right.
And then also the walls make a difference. 2022, I'm getting someone pregnant. I'm not wearing no protection because I'm 41. I'm letting you know, if you sleep with me.
Look, this is why
Say that again. What you said?
I said this is why I'm single. I avoided dating because I have a fear of having kids before my time, before I'm ready. Because I'm big on education. I want to be mentally, emotionally, fully prepared for when I have kids, so I can be ready for all the questions they have, all the things that come with having kids, all the surprises and.
But Unique, yours is a little bit more intense because because what happens is you're really into spirituality, and we have a lot of women on here that's into spirituality as well. Yeah, so what happens is, like, I don't want to say bruja, I don't want to say Wadia, I don't want to say those words, but you're really into, like, if you don't have your child when the moon is this way or that way and that way, it ain't gonna come out right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm
thinking about it gotta be really calmed out.
I'm kind of like,
me 2022 if the ball drops.
I think sometimes I think too much. I need to just naturally let it happen, but I'm just like, let me just stay out of the way this whole dating thing, because I do want the man to be mentally prepared for my children. He has to. If I can't do it, if I'm not emotionally there, because postpartum depression and all that, if I can't do it, he has to be able to be there. And one thing with relationships, the love in the beginning is never the same 10 years down the line. The human mind changes every 7 years. I don't know if y'all know that, but it constantly changes every 7 years. What you thought was love, or what you were interested in 7 years ago is not what you're interested in now.
Right.
So I want somebody to be able to grow with me and be able to communicate with me so we can understand and renew our love language. You have to constantly renew your love language.
What is your love language right now? Everybody. My love language is productivity. I don't use that list. I have my own love language. Mine is productivity. What are you doing for yourself, and what can we do together, and what can you do for me and with me? It's productivity.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
What is your love language? And also, before you say that, shout out to On the Block with Jen. She needs 4 more subscribers to get to 1,000, but we want to get 10 more. We need 10 more for Jen, and we need 7 more for Darrell. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, because when they become 1,000, I like that. 1,000 subscribers. I like that. We're gonna change the word up. Subscribers. So we're the garden. We're the gardens. The men are the rocks. The women are the flowers. When Chef does his little garden proverbs, you're gonna fall in love.
I like that.
But what happens is, we really need to get them 1,000 because they get monetized. They end up getting paid like I'm getting paid right now. You know what I mean? I'm getting paid just having this, and I want y'all to get paid too. So we help everybody, because we don't. It doesn't make sense someone has 100,000 subscribers and everybody's starving. We all could get it. We all could get paid. You feel me? That's what I want. But subscribers, I like that. I like that term. Shout out to you. And also, in regards to love languages, Chef, what is your love language now in regards to your mate? And then Truth, and then Willie.
Mine, I would say, it's evolved over the time, and it consistently evolves based on the time. Sometimes your love language, my love language, will evolve based on the level of need. And that's what I think is important within our relationships. Your love language should not be stasis. If I'm in France and I need to talk French, if I'm in China and I talk French, they may not understand it. So I have to evolve based on the dynamic. So when she's feeling down, especially during, dark time, stressed out, it was words of affirmation. It was definitely words of affirmation. And then as I began to grow and change and understand how valuable that she is, at some point, it started making me break my bread, even though I know how to break bread and give gifts. It was like even more where it was, it was the works, it was the gifts, the giving something to her in terms of that new love language. I believe that it changes. And in order to have a relationship that continues to evolve, your love language, you have to be able to move to the different love language based on where you guys are emotionally or at that point in your relationship to be able to make you move forward. Sometimes you can't just say if somebody falls and they need to go make it to that part and then they fall. Get your ass up, walk it off, man up. That does not work for everybody. Sometimes it's like, hey, I know you're hurting, buddy. Come on, man, let me help you out. Listen here, this is what you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. It's different, but if progress is the goal, then we, like in corporate America, where we say we have to be agile in order to be able to adapt to the situation that we're dealing with. So I don't believe in choosing what is my love language. What is the love language that she needs me to speak right now, that we need me to speak right now? I believe that we should master all of them in order to be just like somebody that speaks every language on the planet. That's going to be one of the illest people around. Why? Because they get to hear it from everybody and understand it and give back. So I believe that we need to start focusing so much on what is our love language, because that shit's going to change after life takes a beating on us. Let's start to learn how to speak. Let's get this Rosetta Stone popping in order to figure out the other love languages so that we can all communicate instead of this being some weird Tower of Babel kind of situation where I speak this and you speak that. I think we need to all learn it.
Yeah, because every couple is different. They have their own love language, I guess. So.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Nah, I'm with Chef on this one. You have to tailor your love language to, the needs of the people that you're communicating with. Because both of my daughters are definitely unique and they have their own way. Like I can't speak to the one the same way I speak to the other, and the same thing like with my wife. There's like 3 different personalities going on, even though that they're the same sex. But I have to tailor the message, tailor the language specifically to the person needs, and I have to deliver it in a way that they're going to be receptive to that information.
Okay. Truth.
Yeah. I wanted to touch in with Unique asked earlier that I was for me, I was intentional about my children. So when I had both of them, I was intentional. I still think I was a lot foolish because I actually had got 2 different women pregnant in a 6-month span. So I call my children my twins because they're only 6 months apart. So wow. I was intentional about it, but I consider that very, very foolish. I did want my children. I did intentionally cause it to happen because before that, let's say I wasn't laying in it, but the time that I did lay in it, that's when it happened. So I knew what I was doing. But to get to the part about, I agree with Jeff and Willie. I believe we should master all, if we like to call them love languages, if that's the term we're using. Everyone is different. Like Willie said, you should love a person so that they will feel that love to their stimulation. Their perception is their reality. So you need to love them the way they can receive it. As far as for me, if I had to say a love language, a specific one, mine is time. My love language is time, and that's because it's the most important thing, and it's the one thing you can never get back. So when a person sacrifices and provides their time to you, that's everything to me, and that's all. Like, I'm very simple, and that's all I ask for right there.
But it's funny that Unique said that. She's like, "What's the intention? Why did you ask that, Unique? Does it make a difference if a man has a kid by accident or intentional? Does it make a difference? I think it does. But what do you think?"
I say that because just trying to, as far as getting their perspective, when they mention their opinions on different topics as well.
Because I think when men have babies unexpectedly, I think whether they financially secured or not financially secured, I believe that it takes away from the preparation of your child's destiny. Like if Will told you how he named his son, you can tell that they plan to have that son.
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there is already. It's like his son destiny is already set. There's no way he could go around it. Like everything, it's like it was written in the stars. See how you said you gotta have your child on this way by this person. It's like, you got to be in a certain type of, That's how he had his son, Will. Like it's different. I never heard a story like this in my life. The numbers, it's all aligned.
No, so my parents, they had me intentionally. They actually, they probably kill me if I told y'all this, but they went off in the jungle and they did their thing, and I was literally born on March 21st. It was supposed to be the first day of spring.
March what?
March 21st. I'm a spring baby. I'm an Aries.
I'm done. I'm done.
First day of spring.
Will, you heard that? You heard that? I'm done. You heard that?
So that's how I have to have somebody that's on that level. Like, we're gonna.
Yo, that's bugging me out right now. The number you just said.
Why you said? Yeah, because if you look at it, it's 3, 2, 1, like a countdown.
You right? No, even his numbers is that.
Who?
His son. It's the craziest story.
Who? Really? Crazy.
Will.
Your son is born.
No, it's not the same date. But all right. So
I'm 317.
My son was born 9/21/21 at 9/21 or 21/21.
Oh wow.
So and last
and
thing.
He was an intentional baby.
Yeah, now all my children were intentional. Like, I made sure that when I was ready to have my children, that I wanted to do everything like the right way. No disrespect to anybody, but it was well thought out, it was well planned. I was at a certain point in my life where I was physically, mentally, and financially ready, and that was the next stage in my life. So it was planned, very intentional.
Nice.
So.
That's tough. That's
right.
tough.
That to me. I hope I have my son on my same birthday, because it'd be easy. It'd be more financially easy for me to handle that.
That's what I'm hoping for too.
That's what you think, bro. My son was born. My son, his mom actually went into labor. His mom went into labor on my birthday.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but then she ended up not dilating. Right? She didn't dilate quick enough, so she ended up having the birthday. I'm August 3rd. He was born August 10th.
There's a lot of Aries babies in here. My mother's an Aries. She's March 31st.
Yeah, I see everyone's like, oh, they're Aries.
Yeah, my mother's an Aries. She's March 31st, and my best friend is April 4th.
Me, Quantum, and the Leos run things.
It's
Right.
the most important thing
They
is,
created
A lot of
Pisces run the
fire
show, though. I just want y'all to know, Pisces run the
energy. A lot
show.
of fire energy.
Pisces all day.
Right.
make sure you choose a good name.
What, say it again?
Make sure you choose a good name, and make sure you understand the meaning of that name, because that's what people will be calling, speaking into their life.
Okay. See, now we're going deeper, Truth. I like
That's
that.
true.
How important is a name for a child when you're investing into your child's future?
Absolutely essential.
I think it plays a big part.
Essential. They're gonna be calling it like billions of people. Well, not billions, but you'll say millions of people that you have encountered will be calling you the name and then the meaning of that name. So they will constantly be speaking that into your spirit. That's why when, like, it's a term in my city, they've been calling people dummy. And I'll be like, yo, don't call me that, because I don't want you speaking that into me. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
in Harlem, they call people dick. In Harlem. So that's a common dick. They used to say that dick. Anybody in Harlem, that's the word they use, right?
So yeah,
Say that. Now they don't say that as much. You know, in New York, you say son a lot, but some people try to fix it and say it's the S-U-N, but they really mean son.
right.
Right. But it's a lot of words are very important, right? And this is why I say king. You know, my name is Maoli. It means God is here. God creates, right? But Maul means God. Maul, so my mother been calling me God ever since I was a kid. I didn't even realize it. Right? Maul, come here. So words do play a role in your confidence and how you feel about yourself. But that's why I said how important is naming your child an investment into your child's destiny. How important is what other investments outside of money can you give your child? Like basically, how do we pour into our children?
Well, you just spoke about it, like how your mother named your name,
right?
And then how it's like you're constantly building that individual speaking that name. Like my name is Michael. That's my first name. My first name is Michael. It means one who is like God. That's the actual term that it means. So when somebody's constantly speaking that in, it's building you up to basically be that presentation as an individual to the world.
Right. Can I go deep on you, Truth? Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Keep it real with me. If we give our children European names, do they still have the same spiritual weight? Ooh.
Say it again.
What do you mean?
If we give our children European names, do they still have the same spiritual weight?
European names?
What?
If we give our children European names, do they still have the same spiritual weight and hold on your destiny? That's a question. It's not to offend anybody. I'm just asking you.
No, I'm just trying to see. Well, I don't understand. I'm gonna try my best to answer because I don't understand. A word, a word has a meaning.
Right.
All words have meaning. So whatever that word means, that's a spiritual composition. You know, a word is a thought, which is spiritual before it manifests into the physical, which is a word.
Right.
It's
a thought before you speak it out. So it all has spiritual composition.
Right. So the reason I say that because God has many names, and if you call a certain name, it does certain things. So with that being said, if you attach yourself to a name that wasn't created by you or your bloodline, does it have the same weight? And so when we name our children, what are we naming them after? Because even Will named his children. Everyone has it's like the names that he gave his children. It's like they could do a family tree. They could know who is who and where they come from, right? You feel what I'm saying? It's like a family tree. Like if the way he named his children is like strategic. So when we name our children, Chef, if you get what I'm saying, Chef, does it still have
the same thing? I mean, in terms of naming the children, I think there's always a certain point of resonance. There's always a certain point of resonance. Two of my first children, their names start with an X. And like I said, I didn't choose my son's name. He told me it in a dream. So I was writing it on paper from the time I was 17. XYAIRE. His name is Zaire, right? He's actually a YouTuber and a Twitch dude, right? But my daughter was born. She's a teenager. Her name is Zuri, Xuri. I named her after one of the richest locales within Ethiopia called Zuri Najap. It's a long story, but it was a place of lots of gold and riches, and that's what she meant to me at that time.
Wow.
And my son, he had said that I want my sister to have an X in the front of the name like mine. So he actually participated in the choosing of the name. And then my daughter, my youngest, my 5-year-old, her first name is my maternal grandmother's last name. And then my grandmother's first name is her middle name. So pretty much in terms of the naming, there was some specific point of resonance, at least for me, and at least that if someone was to speak to them, it would be a little more, they'd be able to have more of a conversation than just if my daughter's name was Lexus, So that's a little joke.
Tell my boys' daughter's name Alexis. Lexus. That's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful name.
But probably more important than what you name the children is them finding their way to make their name powerful, make a name for themselves based on what they're able to accomplish in life, how they're able to carry themselves through life. Because what if you give your son a crazy name and he's not really able to live up to that, so they have to find their own way and create a name for themselves. Because my parents gave me a lot of pressure. Well, not pressure, but they were a little disappointed that I didn't name my son and give him my name, but I wanted him to create his own path. I didn't want everybody to put the pressures of what I was able to, the name that I was able to create for myself. I didn't want them to push that on him. I wanted him to create his own lane, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't give him my name. I gave him his own name so that he can make his create his own path. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
On the block with Genesis, right. I know what you meant, King. No, I don't think a European name holds the same value. We're not European. They will never name their children after anyone indigenous. How do you feel about that?
So I get what you're saying. Does a European name hold the same value because we're not European? Well, shit, somebody, let's say you got an interview to go to and there's a stack of papers. You know that story. Are they going to go to the one named Sarah or Washuka, right? And peace to Washuka Mangai. That was actually really close friend, alumni of Sarah Lawrence College. That's my only. But, Sarah or Washuka, Michael or Mustafa, Samuel or Suleiman. The thing is, we understand the dynamics of what this world is about and what happens to us, man. So there's also stories about how we culturalize the naming of the children so much that it may potentially put them in a certain place where they may get picked over by virtue of their name, because guess what? We don't live in the West. I mean, we don't live in the West Africa or the Sub-Saharan. You know, we live here in the quote unquote land of milk and honey, where capitalism rules everything. Get to the bag. If it impacts the bag negatively, you know, so that's just the question. Do I agree with it? No, because my real name is Guy, Guy. But my family's from Haiti, it's pronounced Guy, right? And we in Chicago Francais. But nonetheless, it's a French
8 languages, by the way. He speaks 8 languages, and so does Will. Will speaks 8 languages. I barely can speak English.
I don't speak English.
Wait, you gave me 8, bro.
Look, Will speaks English. He speaks, reads, and writes Russian, Spanish, and Russian is one of the hardest ones to learn.
That's it. That's not 8.
It's 8 to me.
Yeah, I'm 4.5. I'm 4.5.
That's English, French. You count Creole or no?
Yeah, English, French, Creole, Spanish, and some Tagalog.
Tagalog, which is Philippine dialect. Truth, how many languages do you speak besides Baltimore? That's a whole different language. I only speak Brooklyn and a little bit Spanish.
I do a little Spanish. That's it.
Say again?
A little Spanish. That's it.
Okay, Spanish. And Unique, how many languages you speak besides Patois?
I think I understand more than I can speak, but I would say 3: Spanish, Senegalese, Wolof, and some French.
No, I thought you speak Igbo too.
Igbo. A
Igbo.
little bit.
So you corrected me.
A little bit.
Yeah. So if you speak that, yeah, that's dope.
I can understand more than I can speak. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's cool. That's cool. So, how important language is for your children? Investing in learning languages.
I think it's very important.
I mean, language outside of your culture, outside of your ethnicity.
You said how important it is?
To learn languages outside of your ethnicity. So if you and your husband are Senegalese and you're Jamaican, should they learn Spanish? Should they learn Russian? Should they learn something outside of their comfort zone?
I think they should learn whatever language is becoming big in our area. Like, you know, America, everyone should know Spanish because we have a big Spanish population.
Exactly.
Especially Chinese. That's becoming they're moving here.
Well, you sound like Will. You sound like Will right there.
That's crazy.
They've taken over. I think that's Mandarin, Chinese, whatever.
Is it Chinese or Asian community, which is a whole bunch of different nationalities? Yes. Are they taking over? Because I think it's a growing Korean population too.
I don't want to say they've taken over. I think they're just they've taken over whatever area they're in. I think they're just growing more and expanding. I wouldn't say taking over. You know, they're just doing what they've always done.
Yeah,
but
so
I think it's
got a lot of people, French, Mandarin, Spanish. Jen says she speaks English, Spanish, a little Italian, and bitch, you got me fucked up. Then who else? You got people speak. It's crazy because you never realize when you might need this, right? Investment in your children. Is traveling an important thing for your children to experience outside of the States?
I think so. At least once.
At least once.
Cultural capital, baby.
So what is the minimum amount of time? Because I remember when I was trying to be a teacher, I was teaching at this public school in an affluent community in Massachusetts. It was called Newton. And when I was over there, the kid says my parents take me to Greece and other places every summer. We go to a new country. Is it important for our children, especially people in the Black community, to have their children travel every year to someplace foreign?
Yes. Yes.
Why is that an important investment?
On the microscopic scale level, they've been doing it already in the hood with the Fresh Air Fund, taking the kids out from that tight urban box of a postage stamp zip code and sending them to the place where they see trees, sending them to a larger environment. Remember, we always say that, I always say, when you look at a diamond, the amount of facets you see on that diamond is actually the least amount of facets on the diamond. You have to turn that diamond around to see the circumference of the beauty of it. If somebody exists within one dynamic, how the hell can they tell you about the world? They can't. They haven't experienced it. If you go to China and you've never been there before, you go to China, you breathe in that air, you eat the food, you touch the people, you drink the water. For that 8-day trip or whatever, however long you're there, you're freaking Chinese. It's a different essence. It's important. It's important. It's almost like saying, yo, man, I never saw my left foot before. But we connected. This world is connected. The earth is ours. Yeah, somebody claims it. Saying the earth is ours. But we have people that have never gone outside of this one little place. People never left their city, never left their state.
I know some people here in Atlanta that never left 285 outside.
Yes. That they, I said they never left DeKalb County.
Hold on,
exactly.
When you date men like that, can you tell the difference between?
I'm not dating a man like that. I'm not dating anybody that doesn't have any type of different. If you never seen outside of the because our opinions and our views and perspective on things are it's a limit to it. We can only have so many conversations. Like, you know,
before you start
mind is not open. You're like on one level plane. I can't. I couldn't do it.
Why couldn't you introduce him? Like, okay, you get this dude. He's getting money, but he didn't travel.
They're the ones who having the biggest egos. They have I don't understand it. And
hold on. You saying when men travel, they are more humble?
No, you're right. No, they're not. But there's a lot more you can learn from them.
Ooh, I got that.
There's a lot more topics of conversation.
Yeah,
you can know that your children will learn different ways, views of thinking. And what I loved about traveling is learning how people live, like different cultures, different ways of eating, and getting along with family. And you know, there's some families where you're living with your family all the way up until you get married, and even when you get married, you still have to live with their parents. Like, right. I think that's cool, but you know, I mean, it's not for me. But I mean, it's something I probably consider when I get older. But you know, a lot of people just I love to travel. I think it's now the consistency of it. I don't know about every year. Not everybody can afford traveling or taking their children abroad every year, but they have to at least do it once just to see how other people.
So when you get married, you and your husband are you going to do like once a year everybody goes, twice a year everybody goes, or you're going to be like every 4 years a big trip?
Me and my family, we did it every year or every 2 years. Then it just came to a point where, you know, eventually, you know, I just ended up traveling on my own with my ex. But I think it's very important for families to travel together.
Okay, so
send your child by themselves is very important.
So Truth, you're very intelligent, you're very well spoken. Why haven't you traveled outside of the U.S. and do you encourage that for your children, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh no, I never said I ain't traveled.
Okay.
Yeah, I've traveled extensively, especially with my grandmother. You know,
okay.
R.I.P. to Granny.
My condolences, R.I.P.
Yeah, she took me around at an early age, where it depends on the child, because children are very impressionable about a lot of different things, and it depends on, you know, for me, I've always been the way I am. So me learning new things and learning different cultures, it was like I learned it, but it wasn't impression upon me where I was like all over the place, where a whole bunch of confusion was like, oh, should I be like this person, or should I be like this, or should I be over here, or is this the truth, or is that the truth? You know, a lot of people, like, once they get around like Buddhist monks and everything, they'll say, hold up, you know, I want to be a Buddhist person going, or somebody want to deal with Confucianism or something like that. It depends on the person or the individual. If the child is a lot more mature, then yes, take the child out, let them experience the world, see it different, let them see how other children actually live versus how they live. Let them see, you know, what they have compared to another child. You see what I'm saying? That creates, you know, fortitude and also appreciation. A lot of times we think that we got it hard over here until you actually go to a place where they don't even have street lights. Mm-hmm. It's totally different. So in that aspect, of understanding and learning and things like that. Yes, but on a different aspect, it can also have a backfire. It depends on what type of child you have.
Okay. Will, how you feel about that? Traveling.
No, I definitely, understand the importance of traveling and how much it can culture you. Just like Truth was saying, you think there's some poverty here in the United States, like you haven't seen poverty until you've seen some of the situations that I've seen some of the families living like overseas, especially you have these this nomadic culture that they call the gypsies, and some of the families, the way they were living, like the projects are like penthouse suites, compared to the way that they were living. But if you don't see that, then you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's the experiences that you have that resonate you and help you, help some people get humbled. Because it's like, damn, I thought I had it bad, and then you see somebody, it makes you appreciate your situation a lot more. Not at the expense of their poor conditions, but sometimes it takes seeing somebody less off than you to appreciate what you have. Unfortunately, it takes that for some people, but it's very important. Like,
Right. So that experience that your child sees, is that an investment to their character?
I think so. It was for
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like, is it a different type of poor in Jamaica compared to poor in Atlanta? I don't know.
Yes,
Oh yes,
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 it is. Yes, it
yes.
is.
And back to the humbling, the culture of it. Like when I was 13, I was going through a phase, and my mom thought I was becoming a problematic child, so she sent me back to live with my grandfather. And just to see what I thought I was, depressed and unhappy, but when you go back there and you're like, they barely have what I had back in America, and they were just living their best life, and they were happy to be dealing with Jamaican parents. Like I thought my parents were crazy, but they were like, no, this is the norm. Like, so I learned a lot. I was like, okay, yeah, I learned a lot about my culture. I learned to love my parents more. I learned to be humble. I learned to be happy with what I have because I took for granted what I do have. So.
And that's the craziest thing. People in other places, they're actually comfortable the way they're living. It just
Mm-hmm.
shows you how I like to say, like how greedy and fatty we are with certain things. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way they're living, they're comfortable living like that. They're comfortable
Yeah.
going down to a well and pitching water and bringing it back to their family. Where we will actually cry about that.
Yeah.
See what I'm
And
saying?
that's who I forgot who was it Chef or Willie, what they were saying it can be reversed. So taking someone in Jamaica who's happy with what they got going on and exposing them to another culture where they feel like, oh well, maybe I need this to be happy or to be, where I need to be,
Yeah, there was a
each his
question.
own.
There was a question that when King, you had asked about. You said, oh, you had asked Truth if he became humble, or if somebody would be humble just because they travel.
Mhm.
Oh, that's you asked. You asked that of Unique.
Right.
If does it mean that traveling the world will make you humble? No. It's a process, though. It's a process because before you travel, just like that guy who never left the block, that's going to be the same person trying to tell you, man, let me tell you about the world, man. Let me tell you about life. It's always a person that never been anywhere. The same set of people, the same guys with the
Yeah,
same
you are
40
funny.
ounce, the same block, 5-block radius. Like, man, I'm telling you about the world. Listen here.
The
What
know-it-all.
happens is, right, but that person, here's what happens when we use the word humble or humility. When they get to that other place for the first time, something will wash over them. It's a humbling experience. Here's how humbling experience is. Even if you come from something you think is low within your country, within this first world nation, and then you go drop them off where my family's from in Haiti, right? Bruh, even in the yard, take them to the yard, take them to Jamaica, take them, drop them Port of Spain. It's going to be, even for the people that have money, it's going to be a humbling experience, because this is going to sound weird, but you're facing God. And when I say you're facing God, you thought everything, it's a paradigm shift. You thought everything was like this. And you thought you knew hunger until you touched down in Haiti and you touched down in the islands. It's a humbling experience. Like, damn it, I've been complaining all of this time. And look at this. I'm talking about there's people here that their cousin is the first time somebody in family went to college. Over there, there's the person that's the first time they had a shoe. You get me? There's a difference. That experience is humbling because it humbles you first in terms of washing away everything, that false sense of knowledge, that false sense of wisdom and awareness and world knowledge. It washes that away and shows you something different. But as you travel more, yes, it humbles you, but it now continues to embolden you and strengthen you. That's why I said it's a process. Traveling make you more humble? No, it humbles you in the beginning. And as you do more, you start to realize that you've seen more of the world and have more of a global planetary view than somebody who may be sitting next to you. So to some degree, it humbles you first, like the military boot camp. They break you down and then builds you back up. You know,
and that's how it was with my parents. So I couldn't understand why they wanted me to garden and do, help with the cars and doing all. And when I go back there, it's like everybody has their own garden there. Mm-hmm. Everybody works with their hands. I have to help with cooking. I have to help with cleaning. I have to do all these things. And, I didn't have my way down there. So when I see, the benefit from it, and it took my grandfather and to show me that, look, what your parents are trying to do, they're doing it for the betterment and for your growth and for you to be a better person. They're not doing it just to make you mad or just to get on your nerves. Like, there's a reason behind it. This is our culture. This is what we do. And I'm glad, I'm happy for the experience. I really appreciate it to this day, because everything they taught me, like, I love it to this day. So it took persistence and them instilling that in me for me to take it with me to this day.
We know it's crazy because do y'all feel that if you don't invest in your child's traveling or education, you put your children at a disadvantage globally? Do you feel that? Why is that, Will?
Well, my kids traveling, they were able to be introduced to not only different cultures, but learn different languages. So, coming back home, if somebody only speaks English, and then let's say, for example, like my daughter speaks English and French, and then whatever other languages that she learns in school or what have you. So, there's definitely a benefit from that, not only from the language perspective and being able to speak different languages, but from I know I keep going back to this, but the brain development, children at a young age are able to learn 13 languages, to where as we get older, the more and more difficult it is for us to learn a language, for example. So like the earlier we can expose them to things that will help benefit them, whether it be culture or different experiences. Because like, my daughters, when they were going to school in France, I had a chance to see how they were teaching elementary school, like in France and in Italy and then in Ukraine. And then so now when we moved back here, I was able to compare and understand how education was taught on a more global perspective in China. So I was able to compare how, the children in China, in Italy, in France, and Spain, and Ukraine, and all those other countries, that I lived in, I was able to compare the educational system over there compared to how, the education that my children are receiving here in the United States. So there's definitely a benefit, because it was like, it was like me looking on somebody else's paper. Oh, okay, I see how they teaching over here, and now how they teaching over here, and I'm able to make sure that my children will be able to compete globally and not just with the person next to him in class.
Okay.
Yeah, the curriculum and structure that they have, even in Europe, is way different than ours. What we do, one of the things that we do is we actually.
Did you go to school, elementary and secondary overseas, Chef? I think
No, I went. No. I lived here totally. I spent summers in Togo, in Africa.
So how did you learn all those languages?
I read. So Tagalog, that was actually from my aunt and from a lot of the Filipino people that I grew up with. Peace to the Pinay and Pinoy. ¿Cómo está to the Pinay and Pinoy? Mabote. But his Spanish, I learned that early. One of my aunts was from Dominican Republic, and I learned Spanish early in school. What was funny was I learned Spanish faster, and English was not my first language. French and Creole were my first languages. I didn't start to speak English until around 5, But the thing is with the Spanish, I picked it up, the actual proper writing and understanding of it. It came to me like nothing, like literally nothing. And then that's where I realized that it was there all along, but in terms of the thing we were going to say, damn, I lost it. What Willie was just saying. When we were talking, the structure, the school structure here within the U.S. is a little different than the school structure in Europe, France, England. We treat high school almost as kid stuff here.
Right.
In other countries, college and university means two different things. College and university are two separate things.
Yep.
College is
consider college high school compared to university.
Right. Normally, college is like the junior and senior year of high school kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then you have university. So what happens is there's a certain level of seriousness that's placed upon that learning process, which is really important. Over here, majority of the people are still minors by the time they graduate from high school. So in terms of us and what we do, which is a whole nother show, talking about it's a whole nother show where we could talk about, do we hold our kids back in terms of how we teach them and treat them? Because in other countries, by this time, somebody who's 17, 18 might have already done basic training in the military in another country. So,
it's the same. Our school system is very different. My cousins were there when I went to go stay back. They were in one was in 6th grade, the other was in 7th grade, but you might as well have put them in high school. They were way beyond 7th grade and 6th grade. They were playing piano at a professional level. They were very extremely smart. They take school very, very seriously.
Another thing is like for example, like my children, like when they were going to school in France, like they were having like octopus, like lobster, all these different things that I never got to experience until I was well into my 20s.
You cook octopus,
right? They had all these things, and they were getting a chance to.
You said what?
No, I was asking Chef if he cooked octopus because I love octopus.
Yeah.
Chef cooks everything.
I cook everything. I grilled octopus. I done jerk. I done octopus jerk.
What jerk? Oh my God! I was just telling someone if somebody makes jerk,
y'all live in Atlanta. Y'all can have this conversation
I'm gonna
offline.
have to hit you. You gotta come cook for me. I'm so serious.
You say he gotta
I
come
want
cook for
some
you?
jerk.
He's
Yes.
married.
Not like that,
I'm messing with you. I like his wife. I know. I'm joking.
He can invite his wife. I don't mind. Like,
whoa. All right, Will.
Ken, you're mine. So I'm sorry, Willie. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
Now you good? Yeah, y'all good. Y'all good. I was just saying that my children were exposed to like chef cooking, like like professional chefs in France, and they were they were eating like lobster and all kinds of different things as in elementary school, that things that I wasn't exposed to well into my late 20s. So it's just a different different life experience, and the earlier that they're able to receive these things and experience these things, the more cultured they'll be as they
They'll
grow,
be
I'm sure.
accelerated. I feel like
Right.
it's an acceleration for them, mentally, culturally. They can come
Right.
back and teach others and other kids, about things. And I traveled at an early age, and when I came back, I almost felt like I was an outcast because I've tried different things. But it was so crazy as years passed by. It was like, oh, I've been doing that. Y'all are just now hopping on that. We've been doing that. So different tastes. Taste buds, they're linked to the mind, so it's good for the mind. It's cognitive thinking and smelling different things that you don't normally smell. Like all of this is all good for kids.
Truth has been quiet. Truth has been quiet. Truth, you there?
We don't call him sleepers never favored.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's making sure you was there, because you've been super quiet. So another question that in regards to investing in your kids, and nothing's a guarantee. When we say not guaranteed, what are some of the things that what are some of the things children, or we experience as children, that made the path that our parents want to have us on made us go astray? What are some of the things that made us go astray from our parents' path that they paid for us? For me, it was the love of beautiful women, and knowing that they like luxury things. So it put me into a life of crime that got me in affairs. Now I'm back out here, and I'm a complete civilian. But it was that me not being out. I was outside, but I was outside as a schoolboy, as a little kid. And I lived in a bad neighborhood. All my friends were dangerous. But then I wanted the things they had. So I didn't have to, but I engaged with my friends. Because I had everything already. I had good parents, but because the girls that I wanted the girls that I found attractive didn't value A's and going to certain schools, I did certain things, right? What are certain things that drove you off the path of not following your parents' footsteps, or listen to or taking heed to the investments they made into your life?
I mean, I can answer that. Well, it wasn't so much what my parents were telling me, because they really weren't telling me. What I was doing was I was more so learning from the examples that were set by like my relatives. So based on the paths that my relatives chose, and me seeing the way that their lives turned out, helped me understand what I didn't want out of my life, more so than my parents telling me. You understand? And everybody learns differently, but there were a lot of things that my parents didn't tell me that I was able to see through bad examples from relatives, and which helped me move the way that I moved, and ultimately prevented me from making those same decisions, because I was able to see the outcome of people that was close to me decisions, and I knew I didn't want that for myself.
Hmm.
No, this is crazy right here. Yeah, this is crazy what we're talking about now, because I was just talking to somebody about, I call it the drunken father effect. And a drunken father raises
Isn't
two.
that a book?
Say again.
Didn't someone make a book like that?
I have.
Don't mind me. I know
Yeah,
I heard of this.
I don't know. It was just something that I thought about, but it's a little old saying. If you think about something, somebody's already invented,
Mm-hmm.
or they're about to invent it. So it probably, if I didn't heard it, more than likely somebody probably wrote the book or whatever.
The book is called The Father Effect. That's David Kirkpatrick.
That's what it's. Oh,
It's called The Father Effect.
oh. All right. So a drunken father raises two children. He has two sons. One learns, because of his father's alcoholic addiction, to stay away from alcoholism. The other son goes into alcoholism because of his father. So they got basically the same nurturing and everything from the same individual, but the choices of the individuals of the two sons were different. And Willie just exemplified that he took a different path based off of what he's seen and exemplified. Versus me, the things I saw inside the household, I took the bad path. I took what I was learning and actually went that way. So I was impressioned by the things I was saying. I was around drugs. I was around people that were selling. I was around people that had artillery, guns, and things like that, harming people. The streets. That's what my family was raised around. Wasn't that I didn't have good examples, because most of the time I was around my grandparents, but from my immediate family and everything like that, it was different. There was just a different outlook on certain things. And then my friends that I was hanging around with, the stuff that they did in the streets and everything like that, led me to do certain things that I knew I had. I knew it was wrong. Inside yourself, these things are wrong. You ain't supposed to be doing these things, regardless of anything. Like you know these things are wrong, but you choose to do whatever is going on. You choose to do what you want to do. And that's what I did. I chose to do what I wanted to do. It wasn't so much that now if I had somebody, instead of, I had a lot of enablers around me, people that was encouraging me to do these things. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have nobody actually to come to me and say, bro, you're doing the wrong things, you living the wrong way, you ain't supposed to be, this is not how a man's supposed to move. I didn't really have that example for me in my life. So that's the way I pretty much had to walk the course and make my mistakes. And then finally I came full circle and found out how to become a man.
Nice. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's the book I was thinking
Robert T. Kiyosaki. Yeah.
Kiyosaki.
Right. Right. What about you, Chef?
Bro, truth was going so long, I didn't remember the question, man.
You crazy, son. Anyway, we
nobody longer than you.
That's it. You're trying though.
It made sense.
It makes sense. What do you mean, unique? What do you mean by that?
No, because it kind of goes back to like I had 2 parent households and everything, and I seen them work it out, even despite the whole horrible communication and the hostility and arguments and everything. But I felt like, okay, if I could probably do it better with who I choose, and wanted to be rebellious and blah blah blah, thinking I know it all, but didn't work out. So, but I see where he's going with it.
And Chef, the closeout, it's 10:03. We're closing out right now. It's been a good, peaceful night. I'm so glad Unique came through, because we usually have ignorant ignorant conversations at times. It was very peaceful when you came. Like it'd be everybody arguing and stuff, but this time it was really peaceful. And I appreciate that for bringing that peaceful energy. Chef, would you mind doing the garden proverbs real quick, and then we could go out. And I gotta get ready, finish my laundry. You heard the noise in the background. Do everything else because my nephew or nieces are coming into town. My sister just told me right now, which doesn't make sense. She said there's no schedule for family. If you kept in touch with them, you would have known. I love you see that face? You know how that go, right? So it's cool. That's why I'm doing volunteer work tomorrow.
No. Thank you for having me. You know, I don't get on this stuff that much.
Yeah,
So
I appreciate that.
nice to meet you all's acquaintance. Thank you for
Pleasure meeting you.
Well, you as well.
advice and
Holla, we're gonna get you some of that jerk.
Yeah, I gotta stay in contact. We need to
Yes,
get everything though. Chef, can you end it real quick so you go?
Yeah.
Chef got his own stuff.
So listen, y'all. Remember tonight we got the Friday Smoke Show on my channel, CHEFCHOUPINO, which is Chef Chupino. Tonight is Friday. Y'all know what happens on Friday nights on my show. Put it in the chat if you know. Smoke Show. So come with the smoke. If you got some love, come through with the love too. You get what I'm saying? But if you got some smoke, you want to rehash a topic, you want to talk about something you like, don't like, what have you, we here for the smoke. So let's talk about this garden. We got a guest, very special guest, brought out the gentle side of truth is never favored. So you had to come off mute with a laugh. Yeah.
She said you could come to ladies' night on Tuesdays. It's at 9:00 on Tuesdays.
ladies' night.
Ladies night on my channel. It's a bunch of beautiful ladies having real discussions, and it's not as ignorance. So this is very peaceful. Now I don't understand tonight. Tonight's a little bit weird to me, right?
Oh no, I'm for the ignorance. Let's do it. No, that's I'm okay.
Yes, you are. That's why. Yes, you
I'd
are.
love to have your pretty face back.
Oh, what happened, True?
No, I'll check it out though.
No, what you said something. I think he said a compliment.
He said, I'd love to have your pretty face back. He don't like to repeat himself. You know,
Okay. He doesn't like to repeat himself.
hey, you know, truth, he be like, y'all don't listen. See, I told y'all already, man, but I'm gonna repeat it for you again.
Right.
I told King, I was like, I'm a little nervous because I don't, it's different.
Yeah, because I got people telling me that, she's really nice. Only if they knew. Like,
I'm real outgoing, so
yeah, she's snappy too. But she didn't get that vibe today. So, Chef,
I'm on my best behavior.
All right. Welcome, Unique. Welcome everybody who's new to this place. We are not the manosphere. We're not the black manosphere. We exist outside of that dynamic in a different universe called our sphere. Within our sphere, there's a special place. We call it our garden, our true pill community garden. Why? Because we're not red pill, we're not blue pill, we're true pill. We allow truth to take resonance and shine. We create situations for open discourse, and that's why we call it our garden. Within our garden, we have two pivotal life forms within the garden, the flowers as well as the rocks. What do? Well, the flowers, what do we know about flowers and plants? They're life bringers. They're seeds. What they create. They create fruit as well, vegetables.
They're very
What's one of the most important things that the flowers create?
Life.
Oxygen that we're able to use and expend, which gives us energy. So we take that vital oxygen that they give us as men, we breathe it in, we fight our battles in the world and expend that energy. And what do we expel after that? Carbon dioxide. This is what makes the flowers more special. They now take that waste of carbon dioxide and use the sunlight and photosynthesis again to refashion it back into oxygen and breathe life back into us, which metaphorically means that they breathe life into us as our helpmates. But even after we expel that energy and give them our crap, they still come back and breathe life right back into us. They must be protected. They must be cherished. and we must keep them safe. How do we do that? Well, that's where I introduced the rocks. We are the rocks. We are the men. We are firm. We are dense and tensile strength. And where do we sit? We sit on the perimeter or periphery of the garden to protect our flowers from any undue feet to step on them. How? No one's going to mistakenly step on your rose if they have to succumb to the pain of sharp stone beneath their feet. So this metaphor, this mission, this proverb that we have right here, it means something because we protect this environment. We leave it open for everyone to feel they have a safe place to communicate. But understand, any undue, disrespectful, nasty incursions into the garden shall be met with swift justice. Hold it down.
Hold it down. Hold it down. All right, I'm out. Listen, thank you so much. And do me a favor. Next time, let's get lit. Let's be a little bit ignorant, please. I like to start my weekend a little bit ignorant. And also, whoever's come, if you come to New York this weekend, drinks on me. If you come to next weekend, drinks on Unique. All right.
Boom.
I'm joking. I hit y'all. I appreciate y'all. Take care.
Hold it down. 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Check the Pino page.
Let's get it.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right.